Mega Man X Legacy Collection.
Okay, here we are again. For the last time with the Legacy Collection 2, the next time we open up a Legacy Collection, it's going to be the Zero and ZX one. Although I don't know when that's going to be. I have quite a few games to plug away at here after I'm done with this one. Because, well, I'm going to be looking at the stream suggestions list that I had compiled before I stopped taking suggestions and trimming that down quite a bit, so... Excuse me, but that's a subject for a different day. For now, wait a couple of minutes, and then we will get started. And then we'll be good to go. Welcome back for Mega Man being mega boring to watch. Well, I apologize if this is not your forte, Lifeblood. I'm enjoying playing it, so that, at the very least, is the only thing that I'll be completely honest, that's the only thing I care about. If I'm enjoying playing it, then I could care less if 0 people watch it. But I appreciate you being here, nonetheless. Welcome back. How you doing? We'll finish this up today anyway, and we'll move on to something else, so it's not really something that will be a distraction for long, at the very least. So, that's how that is. Of course, that could call into question why I played X7 in the first place, because... Well, no, I won't say I wasn't enjoying playing X7. I was enjoying trashing X7 and throwing it under the bus as much as possible to make up for the fact that it took away... So I suppose you could say I always find some way to enjoy myself when I'm playing these games, even if it's a game I don't like. The question is, where does the enjoyment come from? Does it come from the game itself, or does it come from the game being bad and me enjoying shredding it to pieces? Guess it depends, right? Don't know where that came from. Got it out of my throat, though. That's the important part before we start this up. Matter of fact, I can even go to the title screen with this thing, because this isn't technically the title screen for this thing, so... Yes, the joy comes from publicly shaming it and letting the world know that I don't like it. I still have the Capcom female logo here, that's fine. Normally it's X-Zero and Axel, but apparently that one just sticks. Oh well. You have to wait for a while for your game to be watched, so you have to endure Mega Man, whatever makes me happy. I appreciate you enduring for your game there, Lifeblood. Thank you for being a trooper about it. So, I appreciate you being a trooper about the wait, because the wait is long, but soon the wait will be less long, hopefully, because, like I said, I'm going to be chugging along with some of the stream suggestions pretty soon, so... Once I get done with... Well, really, technically, starting with the next game that we play, I'm going to start plugging away the stream suggestions list, because Skies of Arcadia is on the list. My brother suggested it, but it's still on the list. And then after we're done with Skies of Arcadia, I'm going to work on some of the other ones that we have there, so... You're the streamer, and I am the watcher. Your choice. I'm glad we know where we stand. That is good. Okay, it's 4:31, 4:32. Let me just take a quick drink, because I know if I didn't take a quick drink right there and I said, well, I took a drink a minute ago, but I'll just get started, I probably would have started the intro and started coughing my brains out, but that's not a good thing, so we won't do that. You're just glad to have a little distraction from boring home life. I am glad to be the distraction, because boring home life is not fun, and I completely understand. Yeah, boredom's a killer. It's a mind killer. It does not make your mind as active as it should be, and it can be pretty detrimental to you. So I'm glad that I can stave off the boredom, at least for a little while. I'll tell you who isn't bored right now. Probably Pallet, because she's in the R&D lab, but also probably X and crew, because they're probably trying to figure out, or at least if I was the one that made the game, they'd be trying to figure out, hey, you know, these Mavericks, quote-unquote, kind of have a point. Some of the things that we've done haven't exactly been ethical over the course of the whole 7.5 games that we've played so far, but the one thing, the major detriment that I think that X8 has is that it brings up all these questions that are important to the series at this point, and then it doesn't answer them because it figured, oh, this is part 1 to a 2-part finale. It's fine if we don't answer them. Capcom, I will never forgive you for this. How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to the finale of Mega Man X8, the Stream Edition. We've got 3 more stages left in Stage Select, and then we'll be heading off to what I would assume is Sigma's Fortress. We've seen that the copy chips contain Sigma's DNA, so that's not good. We'll have to figure that one out, so... Hello to my drink as well. Yes, my drink is right here. It appreciates the hello. After today, Skies of Arcadia and then Suggestions can wait a game, hopefully not an RPG. So after today, one other game, not an RPG, action game, then Skies of Arcadia, and then Stream Suggestions after that. So that's the gist of how it's gonna go from here on out. So one more game, then Skies of Arcadia, and then Stream Suggestions. So that's the plan. So let's stick to it. Let's go to Stage Select.
I've suspected as much ever since Files showed up.
Well, who else has it ever been, X? I mean, it's always been Sigma behind everybody else, so...
Whoever's behind it, they were most certainly after Lumine and the orbital elevator.
We literally... You guys keep talking like this is not something that we established in the first stage. Why?
There are some dark forces at work behind the scenes here.
Like,
Welcome to
again,
my analysis.
I give the voice actors credit,
By the way,
because they did well with what they were given. The translation is atrocious in some places in this game, and it's like, oh, come on now. Yeah, 2 games, yep. Gotta put an end to Sigma's grind set. Do your best to be around for Arcadia. Sounds like a plan, Sefco. I think it'll be fun. It's a pretty solid, probably high middle of the road RPG for me. I'd probably rank it about B tier, you know? So, out of everything. I don't really have a tier list for the games that I play, but I'd probably rank it around B rank. It's pretty good. I enjoy it quite a bit.
could that be connected in some way to them going Maverick?
I mean,
I doubt it. Theoretically, there's no danger in copying others' bodies. X, you fought Sigma bodies before, so you know how tough their design is.
Again, I still don't understand why they decided specifically to copy Sigma, though, in the beginning of the game. I mentioned it before, I'll say it again. Couldn't they have copied, like, any other armored Reploid from the series? No, it had to be Sigma.
All I can do now is continue taking
Makes me think they were trying to prove a point.
data.
And they probably were, if we're being honest, but we'll get into that in a little while. When we get to this stage, I'll have reason to talk about it, but yeah, for now, let's just go contemplate life with a panda in Booster Forest, shall we? So, wonder how you'd feel when you have to dub terrible lines. I mean, I'd still give it my best shot, but, like, it wouldn't be my favorite gig, I'll say that much. Alright, so like I said, X is done. We've got him with everything that I want him to have. We'll keep him like this. Oh yeah, you can't go X and X, by the way, because if you try to go to X's other default armor, it just scrolls right past him. So yeah, you can't do X and X. Later on in the game, mostly in New Game Plus, I think you have to beat the game and go to New Game Plus to get it. There is a way to unlock the navigators as essentially palette swaps of X0 and Axel, and you can use them. So then you can technically go X and X because Alia acts as a proxy for X, and you can use X and Alia. But you can't do it at the moment. You just scroll right past. So we just won't do that for now. But I'm going to bring Leia along. I think her lines here are kind of interesting, so we'll see what she's got. Like, in general. Well, I've dubbed bad Like, if you're talking about in general, in terms of me having done it before, I've dubbed terrible lines before, and I've just narmed it up as badly as everybody else, but I don't know.
Oh, sorry. Anyway, don't worry. I'll navigate properly.
Fair enough. I just like her line about it being a nostalgic place for her. I don't know why, but it seems like it adds a little character for her. Like she's, I don't know, got more of a connection to this place than every other place we've gone to. I think we can break that open, that section over there, but I think you have to bring this guy back there in order to break it open. I forget exactly, but... What's up, Lair? It looks like the enemies are using antique or riding antique ride armor used when this place was a factory. They may be old, but their power charge packs a punch. Watch out when they charge. Got it. Can do. Ow. Just shoot ahead of myself. Ah! But there is spare ride armor for us to use right here, so let's give it a shot, shall we? Yeah, this is the Cyclops ride armor, and it is, it's pretty good. It's definitely pretty good. We gotta use a little elevator here to get it up there, but that's okay. So we can just pop right back up and then continue the carnage! Yeah, the thing that's nice about this particular ride armor is that explosions damage it and flamethrowers damage it, but not much else damages it, so yeah, it's pretty nice. Also, if you hear anything in the background, that would be my father taking a buzzsaw to a 2x4, because apparently nobody can work on my days off. Yeah, Mega Man X nostalgia, indeed. This does. It looks like Vile's armor. Yeah, it's very similar, so it definitely takes on a similar appearance. So, anyway, she's attacked an enemy with copyable DNA. Apparently, its high mobility can be copied. So, if you're item hunting, you can do that. But, yeah, see, I can just dash right through that guy and just completely annihilate him, and by jumping on him, basically. Like, see? You can just jump on some enemies and destroy them with the Cyclops armor. It's pretty good. Can even destroy the ride armors by doing that, so. But the gimmick of this stage, in case it wasn't obvious by this, is to try to get the ride armor to go as far as possible into the stage without it exploding. And it can even air dash, which kind of helps quite a bit. So there's your life bar up there. Do the best you can with it. The farther you get it, the better off you'll be, but you don't have to get it all the way through. It's just kind of a fun little gimmick to try to play around with to get it to last as long as you can, so. And almost get pricked. I think I just used my prickle barrier, actually, just there, so that's not good. So, we got some ride armor here. Let's do a dash attack and blow them up. Basically, you want to get it at least to this room. If you can't get it past this point too far, that's okay, but you want to at least try to get it to this room, so. Oh yeah, definitely use my prickle barrier there. Gonna have to buy that again. Oh, that's okay. Alright, swap out Axel. Let X have a chance to recuperate himself. Hey, Rockin' Fun's back. Welcome back, Rockin' Fun. How are you doing? Oh, streaming, are you? Bzzz. We are doing the rider stage, and I enjoy it quite a bit, so. You said you were gonna saw logs, you didn't mean nap. Okay, fair enough. I'll keep that in mind for next time. Alright, anyway. See what we can do here. I'm probably going to blow myself up by shooting this guy, but... Okay, well, maybe not so much. Oh, okay. There we go. So, you can get the elevator up like this by going up here, or you could just do this. This works too with this guy. You can just float right over his attacks there, but... anyway, I want to keep the ride armor going, so I'm going to take it down here and just take a shot. I just got to line it up right. There we go. There's also some armor over there, a Dr. Light capsule over there for, I don't know, some part that I don't care about. It doesn't matter too much. This is a little... No, that's not going to work. Well, I don't know what's up there, but I guess I'm not going up there now unless I do this and I walk off and then... Hang on. Is it going to go back up? No, it's not. Okay, well, then let's just keep going, shall we? But yeah, some blocks can only be destroyed using the ride armor, so you'll have to take an alternate route through the stage if you do not use the ride armor there. Oop, help me out. There we go. Thanks, buddy. Oh god, oh god. I shouldn't even have gone for the ride armor there. That's okay. Gotta remember that I use my prickle barrier. Anyway, yeah, so try to get the right armor as far as you can. It helps out here with getting the, whatchamacallit? With getting the armor piece that's over there, where I was just shooting. Oh, and I guess I could get another one. Alright, well, that's cool. Maybe do this, and then... Can I jump off? Yes, I can. And look, I can even leave it where it is. Uh-oh. Okay, got it there. Cool. Oh, okay, well, that's a nice little prize, I guess. So yeah, if you don't get the right armor to go through with you, you can take it with you. Take theirs with you, I should say, once you destroy them. Oh, and there's even another one over here. Well, I like blue better anyway, so... There we go. Oop, hold on. Let me out. There we go. I might just let it go, yeah. Because, well, it didn't really work out for me last time, but it's alright. Take that, and... Oh, yeah, there's no conveyor here. What does this do? Hang on. Maybe it'd be better to do this with Axel. Oh, that gives me a little platform to move along with. That's cool. Oops, let me get out of here, though. And more right armor to destroy, but I think we'll be okay if we just do this, so... Matter of fact, I might even do this, because then I can shoot faster by just holding the button down. Ow. Asshole. Ow. Again. Asshole. Hold on. X, you got shock absorber, bro. You can do this a little better. There we go. I should probably be using one of my special weapons, honestly, rather than this, but hey, this is working, so I'll take it. Let's give Axel that power up. There we go. And, oh, yeah, actually, I didn't let X fully recover. Yeah, that's what happens with the super recover with X. If you don't let him fully recover all of the parts there, he loses them if you switch him back in before he's done, so that's how that works. I guess I could have explained that earlier, but, well, there you go. I like the music in this stage as well there. It's just kind of this really, like, chill, reflective sort of rock line, and then afterwards, when you get the ride armor, it turns into this hard rockin', like, jam that you got there. So it's pretty cool. I like it. Missed those a little bit. That's okay. This is where you want to get the ride armor to right here, though. So, hello. There you go. But yeah, if you get the ride armor to this point, you can actually jump right here and destroy this platform here. And then there's an elevator below us that you can ride all the way up. And you can kind of see in the background there, those little blue things in the background, those blue metals there. You can only get those by riding on the elevator below us, but once you go on there, you can probably get like 2,000 metals and then a rare metal at the end of the line, so... If you're particularly good at this stage's gimmick, well, you're well rewarded for it, as it turns out, so... Just gonna shoot up above me, because these guys are here throwing shit at me. But yeah, see, I can't collect the ones in the background, but you get a decent amount of them. From right here, you start getting red ones, and those are worth 50 each, so yeah, it's a pretty good reward if you are good at the stage gimmick, and there's another one right there, that's worth even more, so that's pretty good. Excuse me, Ballbright, there's the rare metal that you can get at the end. Before I go jumping into a ravine here, okay, this is not a ravine, there we go, oh, okay. X. There. And now recover. Oh, yeah, I forgot about this. There's a... Yeah, you can almost even make a staircase here if you do this correctly with the right armor, but there you go. Anyway, it, and I would assume it is the boss, has the ability to attack targets from a great distance, though it seems that its greatest asset is its powerful close-range attacks. Its defensive power is too strong. If we only had some sort of powerful weapon, we could attack it head-on from the front and break through its defenses. So yeah, if you get the ride armor to this point, it actually helps out quite a bit with the boss fight, but I do not have it at this point, so we'll just go in guns blazing and hope for the best. I've got a double attack, so it should be fine. We'll just erase 25% of the health bar, then all we gotta do is deal with the other 75%. Yeah, this is the melee Maverick of the bunch. Kind of reminds me of Crescent Grizzly from X5 a little bit, because the arena gets split up a little bit. It's not quite the same as Crescent Grizzlies where it's already done for you. Here, well, he does it. But we'll get into that in a second, so. Hey there, Panda. I thought the earliest form of rocketry was fireworks, but maybe it's different in the X universe.
Destructive inventions like that are what has brought the world to its current state.
I mean, probably.
Is that what you Mavericks believe? What Sigma believes? But that's...
Not entirely incorrect, X. Humanity has waged war and destruction through its entire history.
I know what you're going to say. You think that idea to be maverick, don't you?
Well, that's what the council tells me to say, yeah.
Forced to fight, you see.
Because you're not willing to accept anyone else's ideals, X. Where did we stray from the path? Didn't Dr. Light specifically make it so that you could have your own choice? Because I'm pretty sure that was, like, in the manual for X1, so... Actually, I don't even think it was the manual for X1. I think it was in the, what's it called? Oh, okay, it's fine. I'll just dash through you. Yeah, I think it was just in the, like, that section of, the, like, at the beginning of X1, where they showed you the, hey, it showed you that warning for X's, what's it called? Where it says, hey, X is given the ability to choose his own path in life, or something like that. It doesn't really seem to be the case anymore, because he didn't choose his own path. He just kept fighting Mavericks over and over again because Capcom said so. Anyway, yeah, you can dodge his attack by jumping over that claw attack. If you have 0, you can just jump completely out of the way, but I didn't even bother because I didn't need to. Whoops. Yeah, it is an easy boss. Doesn't really take much. Mission complete. I agree. Let's go home and get you life up +2. There's Axel's grenade launcher back. It got a bit of a downgrade. In this one, its firing rate is atrocious compared to the ice gatling gun or the ray gun. So, I might actually have a reason to use some of Axel's special weapons, though, in one of the stages coming up, so we'll see what we can do about that. You love how this dialogue just makes X sound like he's the problem in the equation. Yeah, pretty much. That's the thing, is that, like, that's the way that a lot of the dialogue in this game goes, is that it's like, no, listen, the Maverick Hunters are just as much of a problem as everybody else is in this equation, even if it's like, like, he's the reason those fights still take place. He's not. So, again, the council that tells the Maverick Hunters to do things looks like a bit of a dick by the time this game comes around, because it's like they're completely unwilling. You got shades of this in X4 and very vague shades of this in X6, but they're completely unwilling to allow anyone else to exist in a way that goes against their purpose. Repliforce got the short end of the stick, even though they were being manipulated by Sigma. And really, that's the distinction here, is that in X4 and X6, the people who were branded as Maverick were being manipulated by Sigma, even though they outwardly appeared to have some form of free will in their choices. In X8, well, you can talk about it right now, actually. I don't need a prickle barrier now, do I? It's 200. I won't be able to buy life up +2 if I take it, so I guess I'll just buy it now. And then we'll get a prickle barrier later. I don't need prickle barrier, I'll be fine. But yeah, so the thing is that in X8, so we've seen already that the new generation Reploids, like Axel, he's the prototype of the new generation, they're immune to the Sigma virus. Our navigators have told us that based on extensive research. We have no reason to not believe them. It's correct. The game establishes a rule and says new generation Reploids cannot go Maverick. They're immune to the Sigma virus, so they cannot go Maverick. And yet, here are 8 Mavericks that we have to defeat that are all new generation Reploids. How could that happen? Well, one of two things happened. Either A, my navigators were wrong, which again, no reason to disbelieve them. They're good at their job, so I would think that they would be correct. Or 2, the Mavericks, quote-unquote, here, have free will, more so than the rest of the Reploids. Because here's the thing about Reploids in the X series, is that they are based on similar ideas of self-actualized robots, like traditional Asimov-related 3 rules of robotics sci-fi robots. I'm pretty sure Dr. Light even quotes one of the laws of robotics in X1, if I remember the warning correctly. So Reploids, can seem like they have some free will. They make choices, but they're bound to obey specific commands and patterns, and that's why the Council of Maverick Hunters says you have to do this, and they go do it without questioning it unflinchingly. And now these Mavericks, quote-unquote, have the will, the free will, to make their own choices, and some of them have decided to wreak havoc. Like, for example, Avalanche Yeti decided he wanted to destroy the polar ice caps, or Burn Rooster decided he wanted to blow up a volcano because it's the graveyard of a bunch of other robots. But some of them, like the best named Maverick in the whole series, I didn't even mention that, Bamboo Pandemonium, whoever came up with that name for a Maverick, you deserve a promotion, because holy shit, those sorts of puns don't just come along every day. So... you have a feeling that it's just as corrupted in here as it is in real life. But both of these games had such a lacking in storytelling that it kind of did nothing. And then X5 and X7 just confused the thematic even more, but they started this in X4 and X6. Yes. And that's the part that gets me, is because they bring up these questions. And the questions are good questions for this point in the series. Is what we're doing correct? We've destroyed, by the time this game is over, 64 Mavericks, quote-unquote. Were some of them innocent? Did some of them choose of their own volition to do these things? And for the most part, it's like, no. Most of them were being manipulated by Sigma, so they didn't. They were either infected with his virus, or he was controlling what they did in the background somehow. But starting in X8 is really where you get like one or two Mavericks in the other games, so it's like, yeah, maybe they were a little innocent. But starting in X8, most of them start to feel innocent. And that's where I draw a little bit of a problem. So... the Council is made up of both humans and Reploids, from what I recall. So they don't ever mention this directly in the series, but I think it's in like there was like a manga or something that this game had based on it or something, and they mention it. Or maybe it's like some sort of Ultimania for Final Fantasy where it's like the developer commentary. I forget exactly, but there is a council and it's made up of both Reploids and humans. So they collectively together decide who's evil and who's not. Yeah, it could be that they were just evil, plain and simple. Like, there were certain Mavericks, and there are certain Mavericks in this game, Avalanche Yeti, who were just evil, plain and simple. Just were bad. No questions whatsoever. But some of them in this game,
Good work out there, X.
shaky. Very shaky.
Zero looked awfully down in the dumps.
That's probably because I didn't take him with me. He likes ride armor, even though Vile made him hate it for a while.
Not really. As an operator, I'm just concerned about the overall welfare of the team.
Excuse me. Sure. It's written plain on your face that you're more worried about him.
By Sigma to create a virus.
Yeah, there was that too. You weren't around for X5, so you didn't know this part,
Destroy
but...
the world.
Oh my. Poor Zero.
maybe you two should have a heart-to-heart about
Blame
that.
himself. The problem's already been solved anyway.
Well, we did fix that back in X5, that's
Sigma
true.
may be involved
It's
in
just
this
that Sigma
new
kept
fight as
coming
well.
back again, and again, and again, and X isn't willing to say, oh, it's probably definitely Sigma. He's going back and forth on this. So... anyway, 2 Mavericks left, and the next one we're going to go to, we're saving Dynasty for last because that's where this whole ethical question of, are these people even bad, or do they deserve to be labeled Maverick, starts to come into big question for me. But first, let's go to Primrose, and I like this stage. I actually kind of like the gimmick quite a bit for this one, so it's pretty cool. It's an anti-gravity lab, so you know some crazy shit's going to happen. So let's go inside, shall we? Let's take X, and then I'm going to take Zero with me for this one, because his double jump could come in handy for the spike pits that are all over this stage. Guess I needed Prickle Barrier after all. Anyway. Aelia, you're up. And we'll go fight.
Gravity Antonian.
Yeah, just doesn't quite have the same ring as Bamboo Pandemonium. Again, those are not normal puns. That sort of a pun comes along like once in a blue moon. So, yes, anti-gravity lab.
New routes by rotating the gravitational pull.
Oh, cool. Sounds like a plan. Another thing, I turned up the volume a little bit in the background so that you could hear the game's music a little better. I like the stage theme here. It's got that same cyberspacey feel that a lot of the stages have in the series, but I don't know. I like this one a little better. It just has like a fancy beat to it or something. I don't know. Anyway, here's a teleporter, and it teleports you into a puzzle room from the classic Mega Man games, essentially. Press a button, and you manipulate the gravity. Trust me, it gets a little more complex than that later on, but still, I don't know how that works, but I'm okay with it. But yeah, so it'll get a little more complex as we go, but that's okay. As a matter of fact, I think I can, yeah. You press any of those buttons down there and it'll shoot you over the spikes, and we don't want that, so. We want to, basically you want to press a button when you're not going to fall directly onto a spike barrier, so.
My analysis is complete.
What you got, Aelia? There are blocks around here that are affected by the changes in gravitational pull. You should take note of the position of the blocks and predict the way they'll move. Some enemies can be destroyed by falling blocks, so be sure to use them to your advantage. So yeah, you could have destroyed those guys by hitting that red switch up there. And the red switches in this level change the gravity by 180 degrees, so it flips you onto the ceiling or onto the floor. There's green switches as well, and those manipulate it by 90 degrees, and that allows you to twist and warp things a little bit better. But we'll get there. Well, the exit is underneath these blocks, so I guess we need to manipulate the gravity a little bit again to get there. So there you go. Yeah, I don't know. I really like this stage gimmick. It's really simple, but like I enjoy just playing around with the gravity in this stage. It's just kind of fun, if I'm being honest, so I like it. Wasn't Zero built by Wily and used a plan to take over the world immediately by betraying and destroying humanity? Yes. That was originally Zero's purpose for being built. He was built by Dr. Wily as the ultimate, let's kill Mega Man and then take over the world thing. That happened somewhere in between whatever the last Mega Man game is and Mega Man X. It's just that Zero, basically X4 kind of shows it. Zero passed his virus. He was basically put into stasis for a while. Sigma woke him up because he went and found this unusual energy signature in wherever Zero was resting. And he passed Dr. Wily's virus, which is the reason why everything can go Maverick, over to Sigma, who then held the virus for the rest of his life and then went completely Maverick and crazy and started doing stupid shit. But Zero was the progenitor of the virus. He carried it originally, and then it passed from him to Sigma in the fight that they showed in X4, and that was sort of like the prologue to the whole series. So there you go. Whoa. Oh, I don't want spikes, so let's get the hell out of there. Gotta find a different way to grab this thing. Actually, Zero can grab these things, so there we go. Yeah, spikes on the ceiling there, but I'll bet you that the switch here, yeah, will drop us an exit. So, hang on. I gotta get off the button before there we go. Before I flip the switch again, before I flip gravity again. Actually, I think Zero might be better for this part because of this down here, so. Enkojin! No, right, it's triangle, like that. There we go. Now, I gotta wonder, why doesn't Enkojin give you some form of hyper armor on it? Like, I guess I got shot in the face there, so that's why I didn't really have hyper armor, but I would think that you, I don't know, wouldn't get damaged while it was happening? Because otherwise, what's the point of diving directly down on top of an enemy? Like, if you don't kill it, you're gonna get hit, right? But I guess it was the same way with, like, Hiratuzan in X4, so. It appears that the gravity manipulation switches operate differently in this room. They should help you find a route to the next area if you get stuck. Cool. Before they help me find a route to the next area, I want to grab all these medals, because they're pretty good. Decent chunk of them. Let's try flipping this way. Well, that didn't do anything. What about this way? Ah, more medals. Nice. And I think, if I remember right, if we flip it one more time, we can find the exit. Yeah, there it is. Cool. But yeah, I kind of dig the fact that each room here is just like a little puzzle. It's interesting, you know? It's like a different feel for a lot of these games, so I'm cool with it. I like it. Okay, so probably press that switch once, then press this switch. It'll flip us 180, and yeah, there's the exit right there. It's, like I said, it's really simple puzzles, but still, it's something different, and I enjoy it, so. Wow. I'm just gonna let you go, because the game is just... the game is basically just going on its own at this point. There is stuff to collect in that section, but, well, evidently, I didn't collect it. That's okay, though. We don't need to. Like I said, I just like the manipulation of gravity. It's a cool little effect. It's fun to play with. This is actually a pretty decent starter stage, too, just because of the fact that it kind of allows you to play around with stuff, you know? So, not too bad. I like it. Yeah, we'll keep Zero out for this part. Uh-oh. Well, that's a problem. I should probably... Oh, no. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, so if you stand in between the spikes in this room, you can actually not get viciously murdered, ideally. So, but yeah, a bit of a puzzle for this boss. And it's a boss in name only, really. It keeps with the theme of the rest of the stage being a bit of a puzzle, you know? So you gotta be careful where you step in this one. So otherwise, you might get wrecked. Especially in that particular case, so... Okay, I was gonna say, but usually you can walk back onto it, but I kind of walked over it where there was too many spikes, and that's not good, so... Yeah, take that, Spike Architect! You'd like that VVVVV game if you like this? Yeah, there you go. Psych indeed. I got psyched out by that spike. Psych of a spike. But yeah, this is, I don't know, it's just nice to have these little puzzles to do. Oh, and by the way, more medals. Yeah, you can collect up a decent chunk of medals just dying over and over there, which may indeed happen, but we'll see. I'm going to try not to die like a billion times to that puzzle boss, but it might happen anyway. I thought originally that someone else was going to show up there, because I'm pretty sure someone else is specifically programmed to show up in the 3rd and 7th levels that you go to, and I thought this would be included in that, but, well, evidently not, so... I was wrong! Oh well. At least we can get some more medals out of it, so... Late to the reply, but yeah, Zero was built for evil originally. Yes, yeah, it was built to as Dr. Wily's master plan. Didn't exactly work out for Wily, but, you know. Wasn't there a fan game, too, about that tried to cover that subject? Like, it was... I forget what it was called, but the final boss fight was, like, against Zero or something, like the original prototype version of Zero. I can't, for the life of me, remember what it was called, but... Ow. Alright, anyway. Let's keep going. See if it's Puzzle Boss again, or if someone else shows... No, it's Puzzle Boss again. Okay, that's fine, I guess. Yeah, gotta be a little careful with these spikes. I really probably should have grabbed Prickle Barrier, but... Well, too little, too late now. We'll just have to do this the way it is. Alright, let me get out of here before the spikes come down on top of me. Or come up on top of me. Like that. Alright, who's going where here? Okay, yeah, this is a bad idea. I should have gone right. Okay, that's fine. Let's try again. So this might be a little bit of a barrier, but that's okay. I'm alright with it. It's a tough boss, though. Although, to be honest, I don't remember fighting it the last time I... quote-unquote fighting it the last time I played this. I'm pretty sure the last time I played this, I did this stage... Maybe I did this stage 3rd, because Vile is supposed to show up, basically, if you do the stages in a certain order. Kind of like Bit and Bite from X3 show up in the 3rd and 7th boss... or 2nd and 6th, actually, boss fights. And Vile is supposed to show up, I think, in this game on the 3rd and 7th, but, well... Maybe he's got stage fright today, I don't know. So, it's fine. We'll fix his wagon eventually. Oh, I can't charge here. Well, I can, but I shouldn't. There we go, grab these up while we're here. Maybe I'll be able to buy a few things since I'm grabbing all these medals. There was a fan game about it. Yeah, I thought I remembered that correctly. Okay, now we can go ahead. I guess that wheel gets to live, and so does that one. That one does not, though, because it hit me in the face! Alright. Trying to think if there's a more optimal strategy than the one that I am using at this point here, but I can't really think if there's anything else I could do to make this easier. Other than just don't be dumb, but, you know. Oh, okay. Now which one will come down first? That one. Okay. Well, that was like the worst possible way that it could have gone there, but that's okay. Alright, let's see here. I don't know if I should go. I shouldn't go. There's a set pattern to it. Okay, they always go the same way. I'm noticing that now. Just looking at it a couple of times, I can see that they're going to go the same way each time. Okay. That's interesting. I didn't know that before this, obviously. So. Whoops. Well, I can still get these, I guess. That's fine. But yeah, these are worth 5, so they're not exactly super required, but they're nice to get. I mean, really, that's like 100 medals just from this one room, basically, plus the 50 that we got from the other thing, so. Okay, I won't need that again for a minute. So let's do this. Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I'll get there. It's fine. It's just a little puzzle. We'll get it. If I have to use a few retry chips to do it, that's also okay. As long as I don't dash inappropriately there. And forget the timing, that wouldn't be good. Zero's development in his series kinda... Oh, hang on. You know when the game is upside down, it only affects the player? Yeah. Pretty much. Everything else is just like attached to the wall in some way, so they're all fine, but... Can't believe I dodged that guy. Alright. Zero's development in his series kind of mirrors his origins in a neat way, so you mostly associate the whole Wily thing with those games, though. Can't say what it is, because spoilers, obviously. Yeah, I'll get there in time, yep. I will get there with the Zero series, indeed. So. Alright, let's see if we can do this without prickle barriering it. But yeah, here it seems like they mostly go in a set pattern. I don't know if they go in a set pattern after this, though. I know they go in a set pattern in that one part because they... Oh, that almost pushed me into the spike. Because they started moving in a fairly randomized way before, but... No, it's the same way every time. Okay. Yeah, it's exactly the same because they moved the same way that they did previously. So this time, I just got to go right when this happens. Like that. Okay. Kind of like that, but not quite dashing through. I pressed the dash button because I momentarily saw myself start to squish, like this was Super Mario 64 and I was getting hit by a rolling rock. And I was like, okay, press dash, and then I dashed too far. Alright. But I get it. I see. I'm not sure I see the whole pattern just yet, but I see that part at the very least, so... Alright, and then go here again. It makes me wonder, though, why Vile didn't spawn this playthrough. Like, I mean, that just means that he just came up before for, like, okay, well, I came up once, and now I'm just gonna fuck off. Like, is it because I reset the game? Like, not reset the game, but, like, took a break in between sessions? Because I think I did that in the last one, too, and I don't remember him not showing up in that one either, but what do I know? Excuse me. But this isn't a bad place to get medals, so I guess I'm okay with it, because it means that I get a whole bunch of medals while I'm here, so... I mean, we're already almost up to 2,000, and we didn't have nearly that much when we had like 100 when we finished the last development section, so I almost got through that without getting damaged. Alright, let's do this again. We'll let X recover that one, and we'll see what we can do. Alright, wait for it. That's not what I wanted to do. I think I hit it too early. Okay. What you mean is, if you're inside a world where the enemy can affect gravity, then upside down doesn't really affect you since it's a normal gravity effect, while the player has to deal with the upside down screen. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, the characters in the game wouldn't feel the difference, basically. Because the gravity is always being flipped normally for them. But for the player, it's a change in perspective. For the characters, not so much. Okay, I see what you're saying, but yeah, that makes sense. Because they're always going to have their feet planted firmly on the ground. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here like, oh, now we're on the ceiling. Basically. Alright, anyway. Let's try this again. This is our last retry chip, so hopefully it goes okay this time. If it doesn't, we'll just... I mean, we're not that far into the stage. We made it about halfway at this point, and we've got plenty of medals with which to purchase retry chips and prickle barrier and all of that stuff, so... I wonder if prickle barrier works in this particular case because of the way that, that's positioned. Like, if I get squished by a block, I wouldn't get Prickle Barrier because that's just squished, but yeah. You know what I mean? Like, if they crushed me by going down there, then I wouldn't get Prickle Barrier. But if I hit it on the way up like this, no, not like this. Like, if I came down on a spike with Prickle Barrier, I would still get Prickle Barrier, right? So, yeah. Now, hopefully it makes sense and you know what I mean. People say always upside down, but downside up should be 100% correct too. I don't know. That's a higher function of knowledge than my brain can handle, I think. So, smart way of putting it. Yeah, there you go. All right, well, let's rebuy our retry chips because we need those, and while we're at it, we can buy a few other things. So, okay, and then let's buy this. I'm surprised spare energy hasn't activated yet, though, because you would think that it would activate in situations where I like lose all of my life, but it hasn't activated yet. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm losing all of my life due to being crushed or hitting a spike. Truly, gravity and spikes are the real boss of this game. Let's grab Hyper Attack while we're at it, because I could use that. Escape Boost, I really don't need all that much. What else? I mean, I guess I could get Weapon Up for X, because he's the only one who really uses that weapon energy. Super Recover I should probably get for everybody. Chain Combo I don't really care about. Life Up +2 for Zero and Axel I really don't care about either. I could get Spike Walker for them, though, so it'd be 1,500, 2,000, 25. So we'll have a little bit of stuff left over if we... Oh, no, 45 and then 55. Okay, so we would... Between the last two Mavericks, we'd have 55, so... Oh, yeah, this is something that's... actually, I didn't get to show in the previous episode. I figured we would with Burn Rooster, but now we can see it. Emergency at Point Galapagos. Small mechanolites have gone berserk. Go and get the situation under control. Okay, so now that you have died a certain number of times in between defeating a Maverick, it gets less and less the further along in the game that you go. But once you've died a certain number of times, the game will give you an intermission where you can grind up medals in order to buy some parts so that you can, get retry chips and all that other stuff that you might not be able to get having died enough times on the previous stage. The problem that I have with the intermissions is that the medal grind, quote-unquote, is, like, incredibly slow. It's like every enemy that you beat gives you, like, one medal, and that's it. And it goes on forever and ever. Like, you can do it as long as you want until you die, but... no, I'm not going to do that intermission. Send someone else to handle that. Like, if X and Zero are going here, send Axel to take care of the small mechanolites. I'm just gonna go back here. So, to be fair, I was doing too well in this playthrough. We had to stop you somehow. I mean, that's fair, yeah. It's I'm doing too well. After Burn Rooster, it was just pretty much smooth sailing. So something had to stop me. It's all good. We'll get it. It does mean that when the enemy changes gravity, it's just a power flex. Yeah, I guess that's fair. They're just like, hey, I know how to do this, and it will definitely, have a negative effect on you. And then they're like, why? Nothing happened. And it's like, no, something happened. It's just that it's not having a negative effect on you. It's having a negative effect on the player, Snake! Alright. Anyway. Let's keep going. And then keep going. And we'll hope that Vile spawns this time, but if he does not, I mean, whatever. I hear you, Aelia, but I already got your advice previously, so I'm just gonna leave it alone for now. Oh. Wow, that wasn't good. I saw the enemy and I was like, oh wait, he's not gonna get destroyed by that, so then I moved back, expecting I needed to make some distance from his missiles, and, well, the rest is history. That was pretty funny, though. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, anyway. Let's just ignore that little mistake, and we'll move on. Alright. Oh, that's not good. No, definitely not good. Ow, okay. Well, I guess we're on our own now, Zero. It's you and me, and I shouldn't have affected the gravity there, but... So, Prickle Barrier worked there. That means that's gone. Great. Well, I guess it's no big deal. We'll figure it all out eventually. There we go. It does mean that I'm not going to be using X, which means my little trump card is no longer something that I can use at the moment, but that's okay. We'll make it work. It's weird, though, because I feel like Zero is kind of slow in this game. He feels a little more tanky than he does in previous games, so... Maybe that's intentional, though. Like, maybe they made him slower on purpose because he's, like, more of a weapon user rather than, like, quick like X and Axel are, you know? So, but whatever, it's fine. All gravity-affecting enemies are fourth-wall breaking entities. Yeah, something like that, for sure. Too bad the actual missions are boring AF. Yeah, because it's basically just go kill small enemies until you know, until you die. And it's like, okay, but that's not really... Oh, I do have a little hyper armor on it. Okay, cool. If you hit with the blade, basically. Like, if the projectile hits the blade, you get a little hyper armor, so that's cool. I can hear ya. I don't need your help, though, at the moment. Alright. Well, we're back at that checkpoint that I was at before, so... And we'll see what we can do about it. Take these. But yeah, I don't know. It seems like Zero's dash doesn't go as far, maybe? Maybe I'm just used to X's really longer, hyper-invincible, fancy dash, but maybe I'm just... I don't know. I can't hit you from over here, can I? Oh, I can. Yes, I can. There we go. Well, anyway. Let's keep it going. So that, and then up here. And then... Oh, yeah, the automatic room. Okay. There. Cool. Got the extra payout, that's good. And now we'll keep going. But yeah, we'll get it eventually. I'm not too worried about it. We'll, eventually I'll see the whole pattern and I'll understand it enough in my brain where I'll be like, yeah, you know, I understand now. I figured out how we can do this, so. But I just haven't seen the whole thing yet, evidently. To the point where I know what I'm doing with it, you know? So, but we'll see. Alright. Try again. Take 6, I think. Alright, and then I think the third one's going to move first. Oh, I'm a little close to that, yeah. Okay, so do that. There we go. Okay, now second one's going to move first, and then first one. So go like this. There we go. Stand here. Go here. Go here. Quicker, Zero. There you go. Oh, okay. Oh. Almost had it there. If I had moved just a little bit less, I'd have been fine, but I did not, so... Okay. We got farther, though, and now we have 2 characters, so... That should help a little bit, although it doesn't matter. If you die to getting crushed like that, it doesn't matter how many characters you have. They have no place to send you when they send out the other character, because there's too much interference, I guess. I don't know, I'm trying to excuse the game for mechanics that don't necessarily make sense in context. Alright. Grab those. Ooh, nice. Lucky number. Maybe I should keep that number so that I have a little more luck with the spike room. So. You can't say for Zero because most iterations feel slow to you with perspective. X3's version is definitely the one you don't fully grasp yet. He's so different and weird. I just wish you could, like, play as him for more than, like, a very small chunk of gameplay. Like, you can play as him in the stages if you want to, but, like, he can't fight bosses except for that one, and it doesn't end well for him if he does. So, I just wish you could, like, play as him a little more so I could get a grasp on him a little better. Because, yeah, I agree, he feels a lot different from X because of all the extra options that he has when he's doing stuff. Like, he can just... He has his own Buster and the Saber, and they both do, like, mucho damage. It's ridiculous, so...
Go for it. Leave it to me.
Yeah, X is definitely faster than Zero. I'm just from looking at their walking speed, X is definitely faster than Zero. Just from that there that I just looked at. So, ooh, that was a little close. My head almost grazed that spike, that's for sure. So, all right, do that there. That's fine. Now I forget how this one goes. Oh yeah, it's 2-1, right? There we go. Okay. I'm gonna go over here, actually. This might work a little better. Because then I can go here. And then I can go here. Okay, yep, forgot about that part. Should have just kept walking. That was glorious standing. What is not glorious is the other stuff. The puzzle boss. It's okay, though. This is probably going to take us a little longer than pretty much every other stage we're doing today. Like, even the final boss fight... Well, I mean, with the cutscenes, the final boss fight might take a little while, but that's okay. Alright. But yeah, we're starting to figure out the pattern a little bit to where I might be able to figure it out and get past it. So... Not going to say it's ruined my enjoyment of the stage yet. I don't think we're at that point yet, but it's... I guess I look at it in a little more of a negative light now that I know that that is in this stage, but still. I mean, I like the little gravity manipulation thing. It's a fun little gimmick. I did almost have it, though. Yeah, I think there's only like a little section after what we did there, and then that's it, so... Alright, Zero, why don't you let X super recover off of that, and then... There we go. Alright, we'll let him go. But yeah, it's like, there's a few little sections of this. Like, this is the first set, so that's fine. And then, I don't think I'm in the right place for this part, but that's okay. Yep, definitely not. Well, that's fine. That works. Okay, so it's going to go 2-1 after this, so then I can just jump up there. And then I need to get to the right side, because, yeah, it won't work otherwise, so... There we go. Stay here for a second. Go here. Stay here for a second. Then go here. And then go... Nope, not quite. Okay. Maybe I could... Because I think if I stay in between the 4th, 5th, and 6th one there, I think that will work out okay. Because if I stay in between 4, 5, and 6 and just kind of alternate between them, I should have a space where I can kind of stand and not have to stand on top of a block at any point in time if I do that. So I'm going to put that into action. This is me figuring things out on the fly, in case you're wondering. Because I definitely don't remember this boss at all. I'm pretty sure the last time I played this, Vile spawned there instead of what's happening here, so... I guess we won't see Vile for the remainder of the playthrough until he shows up inevitably in the Sigma stages, but, you know, that's fine. But yeah, this is what it's like when I figure out boss fights on the fly. I basically just, I die a whole bunch, and then eventually I see the pattern. I'm like, okay, well now let's put it to practice, and then once I see the pattern and I put it into practice, it only takes a few tries and then I get it, so... We're at the point now where I see the pattern, so hopefully that means I'm in the clear here pretty soon. Yeah, what a boss fight, indeed. Or what boss fight? I put an A in there even though there was not one. It's more of a puzzle. You know what I mean. Alright. Well, we got an attack out of it, a double attack, so that's good. When the random movement happens, no jumping necessary. Yeah, I don't think you need to. I think, like I said, if I just run between the 4th, 5th, and 6th ones there, I think we'll be okay. I'm going to put that to the test now. And we'll find out. So, am I on the correct one? Is this the one that's going to go up first? No, that one's the one that's going to go up first. Okay. Alright, so I can stay here, wait for the second one to come down, then get on top of the second one, and then we're through the third set. So then we just stand over here, and then I move between 4, 5, and 6. So if I go here, and then I go here, I can go like this, and then like that, and then like that. And I did that wrong. I should have dashed. Okay. I moved to the third one. That's what I did. Because I saw that the other ones were still down, and I was like, I don't know if I have enough room here, but I did. And then I just didn't, so. Vile replaces this room if he shows up. Yeah, and I'm wondering why he didn't, because I could have sworn it was 3 and 7. So. Oh well. It's not a big deal. We'll make it. Just this is a lot harder than Vile. I'll say that much. It's okay, though. I still don't understand why they have that in this game. Like, I thought it was just a holdover that X7 did, where they put dash on double tap on the control stick. Like, back in the original series, it was like that. You could double tap on the D-pad, and you could, what's it called? Do a dash. It's not really necessary in a 3D environment where you have a control stick, though, because it's like, you need to make precise movements with the control stick. So sometimes you'll be just barely nudging the stick, and the game will not manipulate, but register that as, oh, he pressed dash, and it's like, no, I don't want to dash right now. I'm trying to be precise. Excuse me. Yeah, he decided to chill in the elevator for the rest of the playthrough. He's like, ah, fuck this. They're going to Primrose 7th. He'll have enough of a problem with that. I don't even need to move. Fair play, Vile. Fair play. Always he's thinking ahead, apparently. Alright, we'll super recover that up. Maybe I should have Zero do this, like, second part of this, where it's the quote-unquote randomized movement, because he moves slower, and his dash goes less distance, so if I have him do it, maybe he'll be a little safer than X is. I definitely did that wrong. I need to go off that a little more. Can Vile actually fight in this game? He can, yes. He can, in fact, fight you in this game. We fought him in the 3rd stage, and we, I think, are supposed to fight him in the 7th stage, but he took a coffee break, so there you go. You don't mind watching me figure it out? It's interesting, and the music is chill, too. Yeah, I agree. I like the music, too, so, but I appreciate that it's interesting watching my thought process, so. Like I said, this is something I was totally unprepared for, because I'm like 110% confident I did not see this boss fight when I first played this, so. I am having to figure it out without having seen it before, but that's okay. Alright, we got Prickle Barrier back. It's going to help me for approximately 3 seconds, and then I'm going to lose it before I even get to that section there. I can't get Super Recover for X. What can I get for everybody else? I get Spike Walker. I mean, it's not really necessary, but it's 500 each, and X has it, so. I don't really don't think I need the Saber skills there, so. It's not really something that I think is particularly necessary, so. You see the smoke from here, too? The smoke coming out of my ears from my brain grinding its gears too much. I'm thinking too hard. This is not good. It's okay, though. Alright. Try again. Intermission's gonna pop up, probably. No, it didn't pop up this time. I guess it figured, okay, fine. You don't want to do the intermission, then grind your own way. That's good, though, game. Thank you, because I did want to grind my own way. So. I wonder if Axel could help here because of his hover. I'm just gonna stick with this group. It's fine. This is gonna be the ant that broke Mono's back. Depending on where he bites me, yeah, that mandible looks nasty. I wouldn't want to get bit somewhere by that. Good lord. So.
Looks like there's a gravity. You can probably...
Oops, hold on. There we go. Now I can pause it. You remember One Attack in Vile's final fight to be kind of tough to dodge, but his early iterations he's a total pushover. Do you a favor and stop thinking. You want to see stars. Okay, fair enough. You can hear the gears turning? Well, that's about right, so. I'll see what I can do about stopping thinking. Because, I mean, really, sometimes you psych yourself out if you start thinking too much about stuff, too. So it's a fair point. You think too much and you don't just do. Like, sometimes it's better to just do it because then it's like, okay, well, I was thinking too hard and now I messed myself up, you know. So, and I don't want to mess myself up. Alright. I know how to do this part fairly at this point, though. I'm good at this section. I hear you, Aelia. I'm grinding medals. I'll probably be able to buy more stuff this playthrough than I did in the previous one, though. Just because of my ability to grind them up in this stage. So I guess if you wanted them, this would be my recommended quote-unquote method of getting medals, is doing Primrose and dying over and over again. Right, spikes. I forgot about that. I don't want those spikes. I'm going to have enough of those in the mini-boss puzzle thing. Zero? The gears in the background or in his head? Both. You know what really grinds my gears? Spikes. I can agree at this point. That's a fair point at this point. I took damage before I got the hyper armor. That's okay. Alright, we're back.
My analysis is complete.
So is mine, actually. I just need to put it into practice. And we will, Aelia, don't you worry. We will. Just gotta get there first. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's actually a fair point that I should mention here, too. You can extend Zero's dash in this game. I forgot about that completely. I did it a couple of times in the first playthrough, and I said, oh, that's kind of neat. If you press his attack button near the end of his dash, he'll basically go through the entire slash animation, and that extends his air dash. So that gives him a little more distance, I guess, if you're looking for it. That's not too bad, I guess. Why am I even getting these medals? I don't need anything else at this point. Well, Super Recover, I guess, but we're going to get 6,000 medals for free just from defeating the next 2 Mavericks, so... You know, it's fine. Alright, anyway. Going up this time. Why did I jump into that guy? Why did I almost do the same thing there? Oh, well. Alright. Here we go again. Oh, he spawned this time. I guess the game said, oh, well, let's give you a freebie. I guess we won't be finishing that boss fight. Puzzle boss fight. So Vile decided finally to... He was like, nope, you know what? It's taking too long. I want to be the one that kills them, not the spikes. See, I didn't look up when I first got into the screen. I was looking at chat to see if anybody said anything new. And there was no spikes, so up on top of me. I mean... Eventually, I might have, if I didn't get that puzzle fight, I could have given up now and gotten it over with, but then you decided to show up, so... I mean, yeah. You were probably built for that, but I'm not so sure about the other ones, so... Oh yeah, by the way, he's weak to the Hyoryu show, so there you go. If you're looking for something to do here. Let me actually have X do some stuff here, because he's just as much Vile's enemy as Zero is, so I might as well. And I can also dodge a little better with X because, I don't know, invincible dash, I guess. Weak to Drift Diamond, too, so I could use that on him. Oh, he's already dead. Okay, never mind. Well, there you go. Yeah, Vile plus Spike Armor Edition, yeah. If Vile was in the room with the spikes, I'd have been pretty damn fucked at that point, so... His head. Yo, I went out for 2 minutes. Why the fuck is he here now? That's what I want to know. I don't understand how this game's spawn rate works. Well, whatever. It doesn't matter. We got through it. Now I don't have to do Puzzle Room. So, fair enough. There are more puzzles to do, but not those puzzles, apparently, so... let's see. Well, now we get to do a different little puzzle. Oh, okay. This looks nasty. How the hell do you suppose we get through there? Well, before we get through there, let's start manipulating the gravity so we can try to see if we don't have to go through there. Like this. Wow. Yeah, there's our exit right up there, actually. Now, if you decide you want to go this way, you can by using Prickle Barrier, or I think you can also do this by having Zero do his little Saber Dash extension thing. Or if you just turn the gravity again, I guess you could go this way. Do I want to risk that, though, and, like, potentially have the Vile boss fight not happen and have to do Puzzle Room again, though? No, I think I got a checkpoint after, so I guess I can risk it. You just go like this and die because the block falls faster than you do. Oh, X8, you are trying to troll me today, aren't you? That's funny as hell. Anyway, so don't do what I just did there. That's not going to actually help you. I don't know. The exit's right here, though, so I guess that's what you want to do. But you can go through that section. You just have to do it correctly and not do what I just did, so... What a troll, indeed. Easy to do with Space Elevator. Trying to come up with the worst puzzle rooms, but then he decided to come in and ruin everything. Yeah, his timing couldn't have been worse for him, in particular. There's an armor piece over there. That's what's down there. If you go past the spikes, it's a Dr. Light capsule with another armor piece for X that I don't care about. I think it's a piece of the Hermes armor. It's like head parts... Or not Hermes armor, Icarus armor. It's like the head parts for the Icarus armor. Big whoop. How in the hell do I get to that thing? Because this is going to turn me a 180. Down here now is this, so we'd have to go up and over this. Oh, please crush that guy. That would have been so funny if it had crushed him, but it did not, so... Alright, now let's go here. I see how we're going to get there, because we can go down like this. Wow. I guess I wanted to go a little faster than that. Okay. Zero? A little help, please. X needs a super recovery, and he needs it now. Is there an end to those spikes, or am I just going to die if I go that way? I thought I was going to get squished by that block up there, so that's why I went so quickly, but I did not, so that's good. Oh, okay. I got squished there, though. I jumped too early. You wanted a room that turns my game into Gothic 2. That room, I don't know if I would have played this game anymore if I had a room like that. I just said, nope. Nope, that's a hard no from me, Chief. We're not doing this again. Okay, anyway, let's keep going. So, in case it wasn't immediately clear, Spikes and Gravity, those are the final bosses of Mega Man X8. Not Sigma, not the actual final boss. Spoiler alert, it's not Sigma. Spikes and Gravity. Those are the final bosses of this particular game. Okay. Can I destroy him now or no? No. There we go, got him. Alright, so now let's try this again, shall we? I'm not going to go for the medals this time. I'm just going to go like that and hope I'm not, okay, too far to the, well, in that case, to the right, but you know. Am I going to drop on Spikes here? No. Okay, that works. And now for the last room. Don't hit that button. That button, well, actually, I guess you could hit it now when they're, like, synchronized like that, but I think I would prefer to go like that. Okay. Thank you for saving my life there, Moving Wheel. That was very gracious of you. Alright. Because I hit that thing before I hit the spikes, so I actually... No, those aren't worth it. That's why I didn't take damage from that, so... Maybe I should get the fourth Saber Slash for Zero, just so I can, like, hit them after that, but that's fine. See, they just die really quickly if I hit them on the backswing. Like that. Oh, and I even got life out of that. Nice. Alright, boss room. We're through. We made it through the hardest stage in the game. Evidently. There's not much gravity in the final stages, unfortunately. Spikes, however, yeah. Oh, there are spikes in the final level. Oh, boy. That'll be great. No, Super Recovery is broken, because you could just stand there for, like, a minute, and it's just, like, all your life could just be back after Prickle Barriering with X. That's why I like this body piece so much, because it just lets me say, oh, damage? That's fine, I'll just tank it and then switch to somebody else, and then I'll play the game properly for a couple of seconds till X gets all his life back, and then I'll just play as X again. So, excuse me. And now for an intermission. Ori and the Blind Forest. Good game. I like it. I've already played it. I like it. I have not played Ori and the Will of the Wisps yet, though. Excuse me. I will play Ori and the Will of the Wisps and the Blind Forest for the stream later on. But Will of the Wisps I want to be blind because, I don't know, I feel like it'd be more appropriate for it to be a blind playthrough. So, yeah, there you go. I've detected Maverick signal up ahead. There are no gravity switches in here, but apparently the target has the ability to alter gravity at will. Thankfully, he doesn't have the ability to alter spikes at will. Be careful when gravity, excuse me, Lunch is attacking again, is altered. You don't want to get caught up in the chaos. That is true. It gets a little chaotic in here, but we'll figure it out. It's fine. Can't be as bad as Spike Puzzle Room. I'm never going to live that down, am I? It's okay, though. Hello there.
Sigma make you go Maverick?
I think X is having a bit of a wavering crisis here because he sounds like he's trying to figure out an excuse as to why this is happening. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but I like it. About that.
Plans to bring catastrophe to this world. He's evil.
And the thought that it is this world that is evil has never crossed your mind?
Also a fair point. There is evil in this world.
I'll destroy you.
See, but that's the thing, though. Like, that they have good points, and then they stop saying them to say, no, I'm just going to blow you up now. That's all I care about, so... anyway, Gravity Antonian. He will, or Antonian, he will spawn a block, and then usually he'll use the block for cover, but he's not using it for cover at the moment. He's just jumping all over the place and making more blocks. Oh, Squeeze Bomb. Yeah, Squeeze Bomb is his special attack there. It creates a localized black hole that causes him to, causes him to, basically, if you try to shoot a shot at him while the black hole is there, it will curve into the black hole. Oh god. Okay, well that was almost bad. It will curve into the black hole, and it will not damage him because it's inside the black hole instead, so it's kind of cool. I like it. And then his special attack. I hope you like dodging blocks, because I don't think they kill you if you get hit by them, but, well, they're there, and then he'll do this to you, so. Alright, hang on. There we go. Let's just take him out now. We could just keep going with the damage, but we have a double attack, so why not use it, right? Will the Wisp is just, holy shit, you don't have words. Well, good, because I enjoyed the first game quite a bit, so glad to hear the second one is also just as good. We'll get there eventually. For now, though, let's get out of this hellhole of a stage that was definitely trying to block me off from making any progress today. I couldn't agree more, X. Okay, and then we get ourselves the Squeeze Bomb for doing this, and the Squeeze Bomb is actually really good because it has a shot eraser property, exactly like it was in the boss fight. It's not nearly as large as the one that Gravity Antunyan used, but it is, however, very good for erasing shots directly in front of you when you shoot it, because then you can still shoot past it yourself, so it's pretty good, so. It's 200% better than the first one, oh boy. Well, that means it's probably going to be one of my favorite platformers then, because the first one was pretty damn good, so. Alright, another life bottle. We need another prickle barrier, because I used that again. Evidently, those are coming in pretty handy. What else could I buy with this 4600 here? I guess just super recover, because that's 15, 30, 45, right? Yeah. Okay, I'll just do that then. Let's just buy super recover for everybody so that they get... Basically, that makes it so items, when you collect them, they give you more recovery. It's not nearly as good as speedy recovery is, but it's fine. I had enough stuff to get that. And then after this, I don't know, maybe I'll buy weapon up for people. Like, I got nothing else to buy at this point. I could buy life up +2, but I won't have enough medals for that anymore for anybody else, and I could have bought it just now, but it's fine, whatever, no big deal. And there are plenty of other chips that I just have not gone and found in the stages. The problem that I have is that once you find a rare metal in a stage, you still have to go to the lab and develop it by paying medals for it, and it's, I don't know, it kind of doesn't feel good for me. It makes it feel like it defeats the purpose of finding it, you know what I mean? It's like, well, I could have just, why didn't we just do, like, I don't know, data recon or something and find it that way so we could just develop it before we go into the stage? I don't know. Unfortunately, you believe I have a shitty stage left to do, unless I already did it. No, you're right, it's the UFO chase stage. Dynasty is the last one we have, so we're going to do that one. I should be able to handle it, though. It's probably not going to take too long. I shouldn't say that out loud, because now I got to knock on wood to make sure I don't jinx myself. Amarilla's here. Hello, Amarilla. Welcome back. We just finished stage number 7 of 8, so we're going to go from here. And this is where the game's ethical points and ludonarrative dissonance really start to catch up with it, with this one. For me, anyway.
It's been a long time since they've gotten their hands on Lumine.
Yeah, it's been like 3 whole days.
So far. That's just making me more nervous.
It's probably because Vile said, okay, we kidnapped the director of the elevator, now what? And then he got radio silence, and he was like, no, really, now what? I don't know what to do. I'm a lackey, I'm a subordinate, I can't think for myself!
We've come this far. Let's just take care of that last Maverick and move on, okay?
You're right.
Uh-huh, sure, Axel.
Right. Let's go.
Alright, well, now we got the last Maverick, quote-unquote, to deal with in Dynasty. So, you know how I mentioned before that some of these Mavericks might not be evil, and some of them might be choosing of their own free will to do things, but not necessarily... They're asking important ethical questions that the game doesn't do anything with. Well, enter now the final stage that we'll be doing, Dynasty, where you use a ride chaser to chase a literal child around a city while he is screaming bloody murder to tell you to go away, and you have to shoot him down mercilessly in front of a busy, crowded street full of people. Like, seriously, are we the bad guys at this point? I'm gonna kill a kid in this stage. Like, that's not right. This is not okay. There's actually no, Dr. Light Capsule in this stage. Maybe we'll take Zero and Axel just for old time's sake. What the hell, right? You know, in many games, an escape section like in Metroid is terrible, or at least really anxious, but in Ori, it's a highlight. Yeah, I remember that a few escape sections from that one. I think the water one was the one that stuck out in my mind the most. I don't know why, but that's the one that I really remember, so. Alright, let's take Pallet with us. There's no, like, routes or anything in this one. It's one straight route, but yeah. You definitely want to take a navigator for this part, though, especially if it's your first time playing, because otherwise you won't know what to do in this stage, because it has a gimmick, and, well, they'll tell you right here, so. Yeah, there's still people here, as it turns out. Okay, so Pallet doesn't tell you what the objective even is here, so make sure you take the correct navigator, like Aelia. Basically, you have to chase down Gigabolt Manivore and shoot him down out of the sky while he's screaming bloody murder, telling you to go away and stop it. And he's just a kid, why are we doing this? But he moves very quickly, so you see that boost meter that's over there? So you have to use the boost meter to catch up to him, and boost in this case is not the dash button, it is actually just the triangle button, the special attack button. So try to pick them up, boost up to him, because he'll get away from you if you don't keep collecting the boosts like that. As you can see, he's getting away from me now. So, but yeah, hear him screaming bloody murder over there? Like, come on now. This is not okay. Oh, hang on, the switch. He's getting away from me too, so where's the... I missed it. Okay. But you have 3 laps to defeat him, so if you don't collect up the boost properly, well, the stage is over. I think the city explodes or something ridiculous like that. Of course, it's a little bit of a finicky hitbox on these things, apparently, because I keep missing them. Oh well. There we go, got it. And don't hit a wall either when you're doing this. Because evidently you can hit a wall and also lose all your speed, so... You only get 1 boost, by the way. Once you've... Actually, I think if you get a weapon up, you can get more than 1 boost, but... Well, evidently I did not get more than 1 weapon up, so... Now we just gotta catch up. Alright, there we go. Well, I almost caught up, but then the bombs caught up to me, so... I don't know why this particular Ride Chaser can't dash. It seems like a strange gimmick, but whatever. Did I miss all of those shots? I think I did. I missed that too, so this is not going to go well for us. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I missed that too. Okay. But yeah, you got to kind of bob and weave here a little bit, and sometimes that means that you don't get to be where the boost is, and sometimes it doesn't really work out for you. Okay, hang on. See if I can catch him a little more here. Where'd you go, you crazy UFO? This is not a time for you to shine on. You are not a crazy diamond. I don't even know what I was referencing there. But it's there now, so, okay. Collecting a few more of them now. Try to use them on the straightaways where you can't, like, run into shit and blow up. Like this. I moved to the left too far. Okay. But yeah, hear him screaming in the background like that? Like, that's not something that's not okay. Whatever we are doing, it's not okay right now, considering what he's screaming about in the background. I think it's almost over, because once the screen starts blinking like this, that usually means the stage is about to end, and, well, we got, like, this is the last little section here. I wish he stayed in the center of the screen, though. That would make it a little easier to hit him, but, well, he isn't, so... He's on fire, though, so that means he's probably pretty close to dead, so we probably got close this time. If not, I mean, we might still get him, you never know, but I don't think it's likely. Actually, I'm going around again, so, okay, never mind. That's the end of it right there. Alright. Yeah. Oh, great. Murder this child. Yeah, I guess that's what they want to happen here, so... The tree is the best. I mean, it has the best ration. If the city explodes because you did not get him, then he is not a good guy. Yes, but is there any indication, at least in the game, that he's the reason why the city exploded, right? That's what I'm saying. I don't see any direct indication that he's the reason why the city's exploding. Probably he overloaded the power grid, but if he is a child, then did he know better than to not overload the power grid? You see what I'm saying? Like, there's too many variables here where I can say, no, this is a kid, and what we're doing is wrong. Alright, I'm gonna wait a second here before... Like, we gotta get away from these signs before I start boosting again. Because otherwise I'm just gonna lose all my speed. Alright, where'd you go? There you are. At least the shots will sort of hit him by, like, Oh, and you drop the bomb right on top of that booster there. Okay, this one's to the right. There we go, got it. Now I can boost, okay. Come back here! Now let's try to get some damage off while he's standing in the middle of the screen for me here. Please and thank you. I'm not saying necessarily that he's a good guy, though. What I am saying is that he's a kid. At the very least, he sounds like a kid, so if this is a clever ruse, then they did a good job of it. But as far as I'm aware, he's a kid. And he's trying to get away from us while we try to shoot him down like he's, you know, riffraff, basically. I don't know. Maybe I'm overanalyzing this. I don't know. It's potentially the case, but... Alright, one of those shots had to have hit. Seriously? Like, none of them hit? Come on now, there's no way. Alright, now we'll go because there's nothing to stop me in the way. Yeah, the placement of these boosts is a little iffy for me, too, because they're like... I don't know, they're in weird spots where you wouldn't expect they would necessarily be. Like, behind signs that he doesn't destroy, like, what good is that, you know? How is that going to help me destroy him? Right, where's the other boost? Oh, there it is. Yeah, like, what am I supposed to do there? Just get blown up to get the boost? I guess so, but... I mean, speaking of getting blown up, there you go. Also, you can't destroy the signs, by the way, in case it wasn't clear from me trying desperately to shoot them and them not going anywhere. So... Now, I can't charge up a shot here, though, can I? I always forget about that one, too. Oh, well. Alright, this one's over here. Got it. Good. This one's over here. Got it again. Good. Alright, I'm going to shoot above him, so see if I can... Okay. Jellyfish are making it a little hard for me to shoot above him and hit him, but, you know... Okay, hang on. Get that. There we go. Alright, kid. I understand that this is not okay for you, but I need you to slow down and stop moving so erratically so I can actually stop you. Did we? No, we didn't kill him. Okay. It's weird, though, because that wasn't the same spot as before. Huh. You'd murder children to save the city? I don't know if I have the same thought process there. Next time someone wants to go Maverick, they'll think about it twice. F Sigma lets them. There you go. Maybe not child, but female coward. No, voiced by a female human being, but definitely a kid. Like, definitely not a female. That's a child's voice. We are murdering a child, and I hate it. Is a machine with the personality of a child should be 100% aware of how to do shit, which means he's consciously blowing the city up. You could make the argument. I don't agree with the argument of he doesn't know what he's doing. The whole fact that this is all free will, because we've established at this point that they're maneuvering based on their own free will rather than Sigma manipulating them. We've established that at this point. At least I'd like to believe we've established that at this point. Yeah, it just doesn't gel with me that it's like, oh yeah, he knows what he might know necessarily that he's running away. Does he know that he's blowing the city up in the process of running away? Is this partially our doing because we're running after him, shooting him with a gun? Like, I am not willing to excuse us completely here just because the game says he's a maverick, he's evil, kill him. No, that's not okay. Especially when you say, no, these guys have free will, they can consciously shape their own decisions. That doesn't make what I am doing okay then. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm the one reading too much into this. Probably. I usually do that, but that's, you know, just a thing that happens, I guess. Anyway, once we beat him here, and by that I mean we destroy his UFO-looking thing. Oh, I have a boost. I should be using that. Once we destroy his UFO thing, we can move on to the next part, and we get a checkpoint even. So, although if you use all your retry chips, you don't get a checkpoint. You lose, and you have to go back. I don't know how to avoid those, evidently. I guess you go to the side, but then you can't shoot him, so... Alright, where's this? Like, how am I supposed to get that boost? Like, it's behind a sign that I can't blow up. That one's just my own fault, because I didn't go grab it, but... Alright, anyway. Hitting any of these shots? Probably not. Nope. They seem to have a weird, like, these shots that I'm shooting seem to have this weird, like, downward arc, which definitely doesn't help when he's doing what he's doing currently by running away from me like this. I'm getting behind all these signs that I can't shoot out. Like, I feel like at some point you were supposed to be able to shoot out these signs, but I can't. The game just will not let me shoot any of these signs out, so I don't understand. I am incredibly confused, as always, but, well, we know that part, so... Okay, I got the boost there. Good, I didn't use it, thank God. Because if I had used it and immediately gotten blasted by a bomb, I would have been a little on the unhappy side, so... Alright, hit him now while he's vulnerable. I got him quite a bit there, but did I get him enough? Okay, I got him enough. Good, there we go. Yeah, how about you dodge this bullet with your free will, Keto? It is or is not that. It's probably a voice changer. See, I think you're coming up with too many excuses, honestly. Like, you have to basically bend over backwards to not say, this is a child that we are murdering in the street. Like, you have to bend over backwards to come up with an excuse as to why this is not what they are exactly telling you it is, basically. And that's why I don't buy it. That's why I only buy it from him being a kid. So... That is a fair question. Yeah, that wouldn't be good. We should probably stop that from happening, so that the city doesn't, you know...
I'm no Maverick. I'm in complete control of myself and my actions.
So, if you caused the meltdown, though, that's not good, dude. It's, again, he's a kid, though, and now we're going to destroy him completely and not give him a chance to, I don't know, atone for the fact that he almost blew up the city. I'm a little iffy. Oh yeah, he's weak to Zero's saber, so I guess there's that if you really want to make this easy on yourself. Speaking of making it easy on myself, let me use a life bottle on everybody so we have a little more HP. So... Should I be using his weakness on him? I think I'll just have Axel do it so I don't have to say, oh yeah, I'm using his weakness on him, so... Now he's got these jellyfish, but we'll deal with those two. Oh, okay, I guess we won't deal with these two. Excuse me. I think if you use his, I think if you use the Bound Blaster, I think that's his weakness, so then you can actually get rid of them. Oh, this gets rid of them really easy, so... Oh, okay. Shouldn't have done the dash slash there. That didn't work so well. You just want to murder a kid with no one judging you. I don't know if this is the game that will let you do that. No sane entity would give a child such a powerful electric power. Yeah. I don't know, though. It depends on the environment that we're in here, you know what I mean? And are they sane? That's what I'm questioning. Are the Maverick Hunters and the Council sane? Because they're the ones that... Well, actually, they're not the ones that made this guy. But that's a question for later. Yeah, get rid of the witnesses. No one will know if no one knows about it, even though we had that busy city street that had all those people on it. They know about it. Oh, okay. Fake me out. Fake me out again. Damn. This kid's good. He's so good he doesn't even take damage from his weakness in certain parts. I guess you could stun lock him like this, really, I guess, if you want. Well, I have his weakness. I guess we're gonna do this like it's Flame Hyanard. For some reason, even though it's not necessary at all. Alright. So now here's his desperation attack. He will throw lightning bolts at the stage, and there are openings in the stage where you can stand and it won't damage you. So, there you go. Nice and easy. Gotcha. So yes, this stage is Ludonarrative Dissonance, the boss fight, in case it wasn't clear to you. Now again, I could be completely off base with this. The wiki could say, yeah, actually Gigabolt Man of War is 750 years old. He's an old man, but sounds like a child because his voice modulator's broken or some stupid shit like that. Does it change my opinion about the fact that we just murdered a child? No. Not really. Boss, you killed a child! Amazing! Mission complete. There's the Plasma Gun and Thunder Dancer. The Plasma Gun and Thunder Dancer can be used to light up Dark Mantis' stage, by the way, so... in case it wasn't clear before this. You don't think it's a child? Yeah, that's where we disagree, Lifeblood. Well, to be fair, isn't our headquarters, like, right near there? Isn't that why, if the city blew up, we got a game over? Because basically it destroyed the time... like, we created a time paradox. So, you don't see an ammo counter on this Buster! Oh, boy. Alright, well, anyway, let's replenish all of our stuff that we lost in that little train wreck there. Yeah, those couple of stages kicked my ass, so hopefully that's not an omen of what's to come, but... So theoretically, you have enough bullets for the entire city. I guess if we really wanted to get rid of witnesses, yeah, I'm not gonna do that, but, you know. Okay, we have 4,000. I mean, I guess I could get weapon up for X and everybody else. What else am I going to spend my money on? Not life up +2. I won't have enough for that. Well, I might if I go through the next stage, because I think you get 3,000 from that one, so... I'm trying to think if you get 3,000 from the other stages after that, too. Because I would need 13,500 in order to get everybody else... Did I not buy life up +2? Oh, no, this is Axel. I was going to say, did I not buy for X? But no, I definitely did, so... So I would need 9,000, actually, in order to get Zero and Axel life up +2. Maybe I'll hold on to them so that just in case I have enough to buy that, but I don't think I'm going to, if I'm honest, so... Electric Man from the original was so cool. Yeah, I haven't played Mega Man 1. One of these days I probably got to go back and play the classic series so I can see what all the originals were, but, you know. Is that your concern when the city blows up, your headquarters gone, not, you know, the city? Oh no, I'm concerned about the city. Don't worry about that part. I'm not sure about the Maverick Hunter Council, though. They're like, I don't know. We can't teleport you there if our HQ blows up. And it's like, aren't you worried about the millions of people that are dying, too? Why is this still in question? How could we not have known it was Sigma before this? Come on now. Like, this is what I'm talking about, the translation.
But things are bound to be different this time.
Yeah, because all of the Mavericks have free will. They can actively decide, rather than it being like, okay, they're manipulated by Sigma, they're too far gone, we're shooting them as a mercy. They're actively deciding, I'm going to be evil, or I'm going to do something that may or may not be considered evil by myself, but everyone else considers it evil and has deemed me unwilling to be able to be rehabilitated. I just have to be destroyed and thrown into a lava factory. That's what I'm talking about with this. This whole free will thing just messes this whole plot line up, because it's like, it makes us look like the bad guys in some cases. And it's a good thing, but the game doesn't do anything with it.
Do you mean copies of Sigma?
No, I think she means just Sigma, period, but...
So far, all the sites attacked have been related to the Jacob Project.
How is Dynasty related to the Jacob Project? Is that just the closest city? Maybe.
I'm picking up a transmission.
Oh boy, who's that now? Oh, well, I know that logo. Sigma. He's finally found my phone number again. Great. Free will is a terrible thing. Killing them is a mercy. I hard disagree on that. I know you're making a joke, but hard disagree. Free will is an incredible boon, and we need to use it wisely. And when we don't use it wisely, or when it's controlled out of us by a Maverick Hunter Council, ludonarrative dissonance. Anyway. Hi, Sigma. Is it really you, or is it just Lumine disguised as Sigma again? It is an unusual sight, isn't it? Translation jank with good voice acting. Like I said, I think the Ocean Entertainment Group did this one, and they did a lot of like the early US variations on the versions of Dragon Ball Z, along with a number of other anime. So they're pretty good with the voice acting, and they did well with what they were given, but there's just jank in the translation that I just can't get over. So, I don't know. That's the thing with X8 with me, and it's the reason why I think it's just alright. There's always something where I can say, you know, this is cool, But, so it just ends up balancing out for me, I guess, so. Daily reminder that Satan's rebellion against God gave humanity free will. Good, another God rejected. I'm okay with that. No, I grew up Christian. This is getting into a religion topic, which is probably not a safe space here, but I grew up Christian, and then once I got to college, I have become agnostic. I believe in the concept and the higher power of faith, but I don't know if there's a God specifically that I personally believe in. So, yeah, a little on the agnostic side. Christianity to me is not not something that I wrap my lifestyle around anymore. It's unnecessary. That's enough. I'll just say that much. Anyway, Sigma wants to leave me alone? Well, good. Never mind, bad. Where are you going? Are you going to go back to the final weapon from X4? Perhaps.
Your old world has outlived its usefulness.
Maverick scum. What's your scheme this time?
Good question.
This is Providence. I'm merely ushering evolution along its natural path.
Evolution to what? To you? Because I'm a little... Sigma, don't hang up! I have too many questions!
All along?
You know what? Let's just move on. X... I yelled at you in X7 for being dumb. Stop being dumb.
If you stop to think about it, it
The
makes
Sigma
sense.
phone alarm is getting some good use, huh? Yeah, well, you know. Boy, are you gonna love Lovecraft. I do like Bloodborne, which I think has some Lovecraftian elements to it. I'll be honest, though, the religion that I'm a little bit more on board with lately, at least over the past few years, has been Buddhism. I kind of like the concepts of, not necessarily the reincarnation part, that seems a little hokey-finokey to me, but like the idea of being one with the world around you and that oneness allowing you to feel more at ease with everything. So, I mean, go look at my Digital Devil Saga 2 playthrough. We talked a lot about Buddhism in that one, so.
Space development.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense because who the fuck else could it have been? Anyway.
Causing these new generation Reploids to go Maverick, huh?
No, he is not causing them to go Maverick. They are immune to being Maverick.
Can't let him get away.
They are immune to the Sigma virus. We established this already. Stop it.
Orbit of the satellite.
Oh, okay. So he didn't hang up on me. He kept talking, and eventually one of his lackeys is going to be like, sir, we lost the transmission, and then he's going to blow them up. Oh, okay. Well, the Jacob elevator is actually available, so now we can get to the satellite that he's using as his base of operations by going on the elevator. So that's what we're going to do. They did a good job of the voice acting, that's for sure. Zero's VA from this game should be his main VA in the future. He's killing it. Oh my god, yeah, Lucas Gilbertson does a fantastic job as Zero. He's like the default voice that I just hear for Zero all the time now, basically. Like, even back when we started this series, he's the default, basically. I mean, Johnny Yong Bosch does a good job in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 as him, but I don't know. I like Johnny Yong Bosch, but it's the same voice every time with him. With Lucas Gilbertson, it's a very distinct Zero voice. He sounds like a grizzled war veteran, and I like it, so. Bloodborne has Lovecraft? Where do you get that idea from with all the eldritch horror and literal importance of madness in the storyline? Because there's definitely going to be an X9 game. Yep, sure, no doubt about it, for sure. Well, I know that's a joke, but if there is, I think it's too little too late at this point. I'll talk about it when we get to the credits in about an hour. But anyway, let's go to the Jacob elevator. Axel's pretty good for this one. And this stage is actually pretty good for grinding metals. If you get good at the combo system and not getting hit on this stage, if you can go through the whole thing without getting hit, you can get like 10,000 medals from doing this one stage. So if you really want to buy a whole bunch of stuff, it's probably a good stage to do that. So, but we'll bring X and we'll bring Axel, and that should work okay. And let's see, who do I want to bring on the elevator? I think I'm going to bring Lair, actually, because Ailey is going to kind of be with us for the final stage, so we'll do that. Hey, Marie's here. Welcome back. How you doing, Marie? We just got to the Jacob elevator, so you're here right before the final stages, so. What happened to Proto Man, anyway? That is a fair question, and they never answer that, Lifeblood. I have no waking idea. Actually, I should have put Axel first, but anyway.
You're cleared to move in.
Cool. So the way that this stage works is that you're always going up, which means X isn't so good for this one. He's good for the boss fight, but not so good for the actual stage itself. But you're always going up, and the enemies will always approach you from the air, which means Axel works really, really well, because he can just keep shooting. Just keep doing this and rack up some combos. The combo system, by the way, is how you get more medals. The higher your combo goes, the more that they drop. As you can see, they're starting to drop 5s now. So, yeah. That you get quite a few medals by doing this and not getting hit like that, so... Oh yeah, I should be using shouldn't be using X here. I should be using him for this part, though. Because these guys have got shields, and I want to get rid of them. Although, really, don't need to worry about that too much, because, you know, Axel can also do that. But, oh well. I think you can fall off of the elevator, by the way, too, so maybe don't, like, move too much. Wouldn't really work out for you. Or I could just do that. That works too. Oh, okay. No, don't go falling off now, Axel. We need you to stay here. Oh, actually, you know what I could do? So I could get out the ray gun, because the ray gun, I don't know if it got a buff, but it has a really high rate of fire, so it might work okay here. Ow. Hold on. It might work okay here if I stop being dumb. There. Now it's working okay. Oh, I dashed again. Oh, hold on. Yeah, this is not good for X, but... Well, I got Shock Absorber, I'll be fine. As long as you don't mind Axel saying, take this, take that, over and over again, yeah, the ray gun works pretty good. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. Like, you can swivel the thing, but, like, if you swivel like this, the game may interpret that as a dash occasionally, and that's not really good. Yeah, see how they're dropping 5s and stuff now? Pretty good. Now, if you had chain combo, you could keep up your entire combo for the entire stage, and then that's how you get a lot of medals. Like, you'll start getting 50s from each enemy that you beat, so... Yeah, it's pretty easy to do that way. Oops, hold on. Oh, okay, that doesn't work. Sir? Wow. Oh, okay. Oh no, hang on, I know how to do this. Hold on. There. Yeah, some of these guys have impenetrable shields that you can't get around in any way except for by getting behind them, like this. Why do they have that? I have no idea, but it's there, so... We'll just let X hang out for a little bit, it's fine. We can hit these guys, we just have to go around them, basically, like, kind of... You could do better with Axel, because, well, he can shoot them before they even get here, but... Yeah. We'll let Axel hang out for a bit while X does a little bit of shooting. Oh, good, you dodged me by being invincible for a second, that's great. I should have given that to Axel too, but that's okay. Oh good, they have missiles now. There's the invincible shield guy again. Cool, got him. Well, you turned the wrong way, sir. Alright, cool. I might use a life bottle, rather, on Axel. There we go. Just to keep him in good shape there. Here, let me see what we got here. Yeah, Proto Man is a thing. It's the elevator stage with the non-elevator stage music. Yeah, music is mega good for this stage, though. Definitely some of the best elevator music I've heard in a game. What's up with elevator stages, anyway? Everything, because they're always going up unless they're going down, so... Wah, wah. Is it bad that you see this game more like a Mega Man Zero game, where the more knowledge you have, the easier the stages are? You kind of like that, but there's also a design flaw in your eyes. No, I mean, that's kind of true, though. The more knowledge you... It's kind of like X6 in a way as well, because the more knowledge you have, the less likely you are to screw up in some way by buying the wrong parts or something like that, you know? So, kind of started a character development of Proto Man when they introduced him in the classic series. Then they introduced Bass and forgot about Proto. Then they forgot about Bass and reintroduced Proto to finally forget about him again. Man, they did him even dirtier than the rest of these guys here. It's kind of bad the game might feel brutally difficult until you actually play it, because the difficulty is artificial AF like that. Yeah, that did happen, huh? I mean, it's got its moments of difficulty for sure, this game, but I mean, in most cases, I'm okay with it. Are we done? Are we practically at the top? I think so. Yeah, we're at the top. Okay. You're approaching the top of the Jacob elevator. I hope you're ready. Oh no, sensors indicate someone's waiting up there to ambush you. Who could it be? Gee, I wonder. Probably a recurring bad guy that has acted as Sigma's subordinate this whole time. But yeah, if you have chain combo and you go into that stage with Axel and you get good at not getting damaged, you can rack up a huge score, like an 800 hit combo or something ridiculous like that by the end of the stage, and you'll be getting 50 medals over and over and over again. Everything drops a 50. You'll get tons and tons of medals out of it. I like Primrose a little better because, well, puzzle room boss, but anyway. Yeah, that's kind of the point, because you've decided we're doomed, and that's why we're struggling.
It was Sigma pulling the strings the whole time, wasn't it, Vile?
Why are we still asking this question like it's something we didn't know from the beginning of the game?
You finally piece it together.
Oh, it's Boba Fett. Yeah, he's back again.
The orbital elevator, the energy, the space minerals, the rocket data,
The route to space. The thing that's allowed this world to survive this long is ours.
It's been that way since you kidnapped Lumine. I don't know why you've sat on your hands the whole time.
Put a stop to it no matter what.
Well, that's true. Alright, Axel, recover that 4 health so you can help me out here, because we're back against Vile, and he's exactly the same as he's been the past few boss fights, really. There's nothing to him. This time he has a health bar, but, you know. And that's fine. I'm actually okay with what just happened there. There we go. I'm just gonna shoot for a minute. Hold on. There we go. Oh, right, I forgot. With Axel, we didn't show it yet, but he still has his dodge roll from the previous game. In order to use it in this game, you actually just dash like you normally would, except you press... hang on. Thinking really hard. You press down and triangle, or not down and triangle, down in the dash button, basically. So in my case, down in L1. So then you can do it right away instead of having to wait. And, which way are you going? Okay. Yeah, so you can dodge right through, kind of like that, except I did that wrong. It's easier with X with the Hermes dash because you don't have to press another button. So, yeah. This is another reason why I like the Hermes boots, by the way, because of Vile's special attack, where he forces you to essentially do this. You don't have to do this. You could just go through when it's like, when it fades out of existence like that. Like, but I like dodging through things. You can blame my Dark Souls addiction for that one. The hell is that supposed to be? Oh, okay. Goodbye, Vile. Oh, he got away again. Why won't he just explode? It's a little hardier than he usually is, isn't he? Well, anyway. I'm glad you didn't say time to go home there, X, because, I mean, while that's technically true... Oh, I got an A rank. Nice. We gotta go up to the Sigma's fortress now, so... What was the evil plan in this game? You genuinely don't know. So Sigma hasn't played his cards yet. We also don't know what they're going to do with Lumine. They explain it more in these last two stages. Well, really, they explain it more in the final stage, if I'm being honest with you. They don't do a whole lot of explaining in the next stage, but they give you a hint at something happening here in a minute, so we'll talk about that once we get there. But most of the what's actually happening with this game's story happens in this next stage, so yeah. There you go. I might get 0 life up +2 because Axel... I'm probably not going to use him again, honestly. I'm pretty much just going to use X and 0 after this, so sorry, Axel. But, excuse me, I don't need chain combo, I don't really need saber skill. Just grab this for 0. So, and maybe I'll even get weapon up +1 for X because that's not too bad either. So, hopefully I'll have enough medals if I have to, like... If I accidentally die a whole bunch and need retry chips, but I guess I can get them. It's not a big deal. At this point, they kidnap Lumine just for the satisfaction of collecting everything. Yeah, they probably did, because I sure as hell am not going to do that. So, I mean, look at my completion rating. We're practically on the final stage, and I'm at, okay, 46%. That's not too bad, but, like, still. Definitely not 100, so... What are they realistically going to fucking do? The game's almost over. I think that's the issue you have with the story. It barely exists. There's a lot of what-ifs with the story, and more of the story in this game comes from the idea that the Mavericks have free will, for me personally. And you have to basically the story in the first, like, 90% of the game is all of the Mavericks having important ethical questions that they ask about what we're doing. And then the actual story happens in the last 10%, but the problem is that those ethical questions don't really go anywhere. I'm spoiling that now because it's going to happen soon anyway, but yeah.
Vile. Sigma. Just like old times.
Sure is.
Zero? Does it remind you of the virus?
Wouldn't be shocked if it did.
Heard about that?
Yeah, X kind of spilled the beans on it. Sorry, I just bumped the pop
Tried
filter.
to use me to destroy the world.
It wasn't very nice of him.
That's why I've got
That's pretty much the series' storytelling in a nutshell. Yeah, and that's why I'm not too bothered by the fact that you get a lot of it dumped on you at the end, because honestly, yeah, the story in these games has never been the main priority, but it doesn't bother me as much. It bothers me a little, but it doesn't bother me as much because I know that the focus here is the gameplay. But anyway, I still... That doesn't really excuse me either, though, because I still take umbrage with the jank translation in some cases, so... Not sorry. What ifs are a lazy way to make a fucking story. If you expect your audience to make the story for themselves, why are you telling a story to begin with? You could have an argument with the creator of the Souls series about that one, that's for sure. Because they make a lot of what ifs in that series. Sigma detected at the supply relay point. Investigate. Okay, easy enough. So we gotta go to the gateway to space for the next level, and that's where we're gonna go. Let's take our setup with the neutral armor, and then Axel, you can hang out here, and we'll take Zero. And then we'll bring Aelia along, because it just sort of makes sense. This isn't technically the last stage, but it's close enough to the last stage. There's like a little bit after this, but this is close enough, so...
Be careful.
Alright, I will keep my eyes open for him, because he's got to be in here somewhere. This is the boss rush level, basically. So after this, it's like, okay, then Sigma's right away after that, because that's what happens with these. You get a boss rush level, and then you get Sigma, so... Put Lumine on evidence somewhere on a table with your anime figures or something. Don't know what else to do with Lumine, to be honest. Oh, we'll get to Lumine soon enough. Let's see. Where do I want to go first? By the way, it's not like an X3 where if you fall off, it's a bottomless pit. There's an actual floor here, so that's not too bad. It's kind of nice, actually. If you need health, by the way, you can jump up here if you're not dumb like me. Evidently dumb like me. I need to use Zero just to jump up here. And I think after you defeat a Maverick, there's going to be like attack gauge stuff here, weapon recharge, and then life recharge, and all that stuff. So if you need it, it's there, but I don't need it at the moment, so. You never played any of the Souls games? Never touched the Dark Souls trio, Bloodborne, Sekiro, Elden Ring, or Demon's Souls? I mean, I find the gameplay in those ones fun and engaging. A lot of people like the lore of the series, but I think they like it because they can piece it together themselves and figure out their own interpretation. I've never been really... Well, I wouldn't say I've never been really keen on it. I haven't been really keen on it since, like, Dark Souls 1, honestly. So. Okay, Dark Mantis is here, so let's fight him out. He's weak to the Shining Ray, I think. Honestly, I've never used it, but I would imagine that's what he's weak to. He's also weak to the Hermes shot, though, so, yeah, I'll just use that against him. It's fine. I don't know how I'm getting away from him there, but... Oh, you know what else he's weak to? Is the, that's not what he's weak to. It's down in triangle, that's what it is. There, yeah, see, he's weak to that, so... Try to hit him on the downswing there. I could not, though. Get back here! Okay, I guess I'll just go right through you. That works. See, sometimes because of the fact that X has, he has Shock Absorber, I don't even know that he's getting hit. And he'll just get hit, even though it doesn't seem like he should be. Oh, hang on, I gotta get out of that. There, got him. Alright, so we'll let X recover, we'll let Zero grab the recovery item. That was not Dark Mantis! That was a new generation Reploid. What the hell? Sigma, what did you do? Yeah, so there's this. That's mostly the story right there for you, is that all of the bosses in the boss rush, they're new generation Reploids that are copying the old bosses because Sigma made them do it, I guess. I don't know. You'd argue some story, in case of Souls, you like what ifs a lot. You'd argue some story benefits from not getting a clear answer. Not X Games, though. Yeah, I would agree. I think sometimes what-ifs are okay. It kind of just depends on the story, so... Also, the music in this boss rush room is pretty surprising. It's kind of a melancholic tune for just a room with tubes in it. Yeah, kind of is. I like it, though. It's very... I don't. It feels like almost like an end of an era type of a song, which I guess is appropriate considering what's happening here, but... Avalanche Yeti, I don't think is actually weak to the fire weapon. Contrary to most ice villains from the series, I'm pretty sure he's actually weak to the thunder attack, if I remember correctly. I don't know that for sure, but, well, maybe. Okay. He almost faked me out again. You gotta stop, bro. You are too good at this fighting game. Oh, he did it there. Yeah, if you kind of wait to dash, like if you jump above him like this, you can kind of fake him out in a way. Not like that, though. Get me the hell out of here. There we go. You know what? We got a hyper attack. Let's use, or a double attack. Let's use it. Is this going to kill him? Probably. I don't know. He used his desperation attack, so I just assume it kills every time, but... Yeah, it does. Okay, good. I was going to say, well, what do I know, right? We couldn't see under the snow. I guess you could see it when his helmet and everything else flew past when he exploded, but yeah, all of these guys are new generation Reploids copying the bosses that we fought, because they seem to agree with the plan. They're also making a decision of their own free will, but this is what I'm talking about, right? Is that it's environmental in the storytelling, and I like that in a way, because it's like they're asking important ethical questions that we should be asking at this point in the series. You don't get a direct explanation as to what's happening, but if you can piece the pieces together, you can say, wait a minute, these are free-willed new generation Reploids that are acting on Sigma's behalf to try to stop me. Why are they doing this? What's going on? And it's because they don't like what the Maverick Hunters are doing, but anyway, let's keep going with this boss rush. Definitely a fitting tune on a meta level, yeah, for sure. I don't think they expected it to have that effect, because I don't think they expected this to be the last game, but hey, it works out for them. Ooh, actually, I have X here for this one now. So for his hyper attack here, or not his hyper attack, but his ultimate attack that he's going to use in a little bit, not this one. I've never seen this one. I would assume I have to get out of here, but I'm not getting out of here at the moment, so... oh, right, there's that. Yeah, so for his ultimate attack that he's going to use in like 2 seconds here, hang on, I got to get Crystal Wall out. If you use Crystal Wall while he's doing this, check this out. It draws all of the lightning to the crystal wall like a lightning rod. Oh my god! This game had a good moment with its special attacks? Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Oh my god, that thing got gigantic. Nope, kill him. Kill him with fire. I don't want a gigantic jellyfish. Oh, no, that's not right. But yes, very clever use of Crystal Wall. I like it. Good job, X8. That is a good use of a special weapon, an indirect method of destroying the boss or preventing one of his tough attacks. Now, if that was really difficult to dodge, that would make that a godsend against him. It's not really difficult to dodge, but still, I really dig that. That is cool. That is a cool interaction for a boss weapon to have with another boss, so... It is super neat. I love it. It's great. It's a lightning rod. There you go. Oh, Burn Rooster's back. Okay. I would assume he's weak to the Drift Diamond, but I'm not really sure. I don't really care much because I just use this, so... I just use the Hermes Buster. It's fine. Well, not the Hermes Buster, but the Hermes head with my regular old Buster works okay enough. I wish I had a taunt button specifically for this, because what else am I going to do right now, you know? Other than ride the little funhouse ride here. Nah. Oh, wow, that goes pretty far. Drop down on top of it, huh? That wasn't so good of you. Here, let me see if Zero can dodge this a little bit. Oh, okay. Did not dodge that part, though. Okay, I was trying to stand close to him so I could do this, but okay. Fine, Burn Rooster. Make your hitbox bigger. That's okay. I wonder why it looks like The Matrix in here all of a sudden. Probably because this came out after The Matrix did, but I don't know. They aren't bad, but you really don't like games that make you ask what ifs. You have hyperactive squirrel brain, you make headcanon anyways, you do not have the tolerance for having that taken from you because it's the goal of the writer. I mean, it could go on a fucking angry tirade, but you don't want to do that today. No, that's okay. Don't go on the angry tirade. It's, I get your point about it because it can be aggravating sometimes for them to do that. Like I said, I still think some games benefit from them allowing you to interpret things for yourself. Because sometimes there's just not enough storytelling in a game for that to happen. But anyway, we're getting off subject here, and I don't want to activate the angry tirade, so let's just keep going with the boss rush. It's more of a prevalent thing for me with old games and not having a lot of story, but anyway, let's keep going. Ah, Optic Sunflower. Okay. Now I was going to jump and pop you in the face before you could do that, but that's fine. Okay, I gotta get the hell out of here before that does that. Oh, okay. So, Avalanche Yeti couldn't fake me out, so you faked me out. Great. I was going to say, how the hell am I going to do this? I should have done it with X, really, because then X could, like, you know, dash right through them. Her, it, I don't know. How am I not getting hit by the friggin' ball thing? I have no idea. I'm just dodging it like I know what I'm doing here. I can't believe I didn't get hit by that one. I thought you were going to be up there. Desperation mode time? Sure is. Alright, anyway. Can you stop being invincible now, please? When are you gonna run out of bones and fall apart? I feel like that's what that was, basically, there. Oh, okay, I mean, I guess you could just keep going, that's fine. Oh, people are playing Triangle Strategy, that one game you keep forgetting about. I have never even heard of Triangle Strategy. What is Triangle Strategy? Let's get Zero out here so X can super recover that, and Zero can just regular recover that. There we go. Don't see how that would contradict it, though. Making a headcanon is absolutely part of the experience. Some artists don't want to talk too much about their work because they enjoy people having discussions and theories around their work instead of giving a made and correct answer to their work. And that's kind of the way that it is with the Souls series, honestly. I think that Miyazaki really enjoys the idea of the player making their own story because that's what he did back when, you know, he was a kid and he was thinking about all these... Like, because his idea for the Souls series came about because when he was a kid, he had all these English books that he could try to read, but he didn't know English. He couldn't read English, so... Not well, anyway. He eventually got better at it, obviously, from reading a lot of English books, but... His interpretation was based on what he read in those books, and so he basically always had to make an interpretation of what things were, rather than, you know, rather than knowing how the story ended. Sometimes he would just have to figure it out for himself, and I kind of dig that in a way. It's an interesting way to tell a story, but you know, I mean, it's not everybody's thing. Some people aren't a big fan of it, and I get it. So. Oh, okay. That actually is kind of smart of you. What are you even weak to here? With Zero. I'm trying to think. Can't really think. I'm glad that doesn't, like, fully kill me, though, when he just separates me from my body at the wall there, but... Oh, that's okay. I'm just being dumb here. I was being so dumb that I just lost X and HP, so that's great. Alright, anyway. Get out of this, and then we'll be good to go. I have a hyper attack, so I'm just going to call it a hyper attack now that we have hyper attack as an item. That's a little easier, isn't it?
Let's do it.
What ifs definitely become aggravating when there's no need to keep a sense of mystery, and what ifs are used as some sort of tape to put you on you put on plot holes. Yes, that's bad. When they do that with it, yes, that is bad. I would agree wholeheartedly with that part, yeah. When it's not, like when it's a method of allowing the player to create their own story, I can agree with it. When it's used as like a, ooh, spooky mystery, it's like, no, stop. We don't need spooky mystery, it's fine. Like when spooky mystery is not necessary, like you said, when they're just using it to kind of tape it onto plot holes, that's not okay. Better than you knew how to say it? Yeah, I think I can agree with that, so. I think I can agree with that method of thinking for both cases. Wait a minute, literally how? Hold on! There's no stage behind you! How did you walk up? What do you mean? How do I dodge this anyway? I guess I just do that. Well, I still got hit, but I guess that works. Okay, okay. I would have been fine if I'd have just stayed on the ground. I don't have a thing. Hold on. Let me get behind him real quick. We'll let X recover all of that with the recovery module up top. That's why I wasn't using Zero, because I said, okay, I lost an HP. That's going to activate my OCD, so let's just let him do that. But I was thinking I had a hyper attack to finish that, and that's just not true. It always messes with me in this one, because you would think maybe if you like did the stages before this, it's like, oh, I've got a hyper attack, I'll be fine. But no, I do not have a hyper attack, so I can't keep doing that. Oh well. I think it's just this one left. This is Gravity Antonian, isn't it? Antonian? I'm always going to say Antonian because I see the word onion in it and I'm like, okay, whatever, but Antonian. This is where you say recycling all parts of an asset is normal in the industry. It sure is. Whoa. Trying to crush me. Well played, Gravity Antonian. Your stage, like I said before, your stage messed me up the most out of all of them, so I guess I should expect you to be well played. Okay, that squeeze bomb's gonna make things a little more interesting. Especially with him digging into this. Can you hit me up here with that? Kind of. Let me get around that. There we go. Whoa. He read my game! Uh-oh. Okay, there we go. Well, the hell is this stuff? Let me out! Okay, we're fine. Wow. Sir, where are you going? I can't destroy that, can I? Well. Oh, I didn't get hurt by the... Oh, maybe I did. I'm just not seeing it. Yeah, this is a desperation attack, that's for sure. I like that desperation attack, though. It's actually kind of tricky to dodge the whole thing. So, it gives you the feeling that, yeah, he's going all out at this point because he has to, you know? So, a Gravity Ant! This isn't even the first time they used a Gravity Bug. Gravity Beetle was in X3, so maybe it was just a reference to that.
Emergency! Emergency! Return immediately to the teleportation site.
Uh-oh. Oh, well, yeah, that would be enough of an emergency. The whole place is gonna explode! Let's get out of here, X! Quicker than that. There you go. Okay, I guess I could go through that without, Oh, God. I didn't remember that happening. Maybe I did this too fast last time. Oh, well. And, of course, because the place is exploding, they're gonna have something try to oppose me. Is it just Vile again? Oh. It's Sigma! What are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here till the final fight.
Looking forward to seeing you again.
Yeah, same.
What a shame. You had the abilities and potential to become like me.
Did he?
You tried to use my DNA.
I guess he started out that way, and then, well, he passed it on to you, and you couldn't pass it back to him.
What happens when you mess with me?
There you go. Get him, Zero.
The moon is under my control.
These bosses definitely have some juice to them, yeah, for sure. Excuse me. All you see are Rabby attacks and these desperation attacks. You need to really beat that game's DLC, Final Boss, or True Final boss. Stop attacking, Lunch. Jesus Christ. Literally earns the sweetest CG in the game for beating that fight. Nice. Well, hopefully you get it done. You barely remember Gravity Beetle? The day you see a Ribby pattern on a Mega Man game, you're fucking uninstalling. Oh boy.
The moment of the world's unraveling is upon us.
I would prefer if it wasn't. So now we gotta fight Sigma! Even though this isn't the final stage, and I'm just really being bad with Zero, that's for sure. What the hell is he about? Oh, okay. I had no idea what that was, so... X? Okay. Didn't quite dodge in time. Oh, you can break him out of that. I didn't realize that part, but... Oh, there you go. Am I? I just broke you out of your thing, bro. Oh, okay. That'll work. A little bit of bullet hell here. I'm okay with it. I dig it. What you got for me, Sigma? Oh, that's what you got for me. Okay. So I guess we're on the walls now. Fun. I guess this is the part where Spike Walker doesn't really help you now, does it? Well, it worked out for me pretty good there, though. Now that is a death knell. And it wasn't even Sigma, it was another copy. Great. Oh boy. Rebby's patterns aren't that bad most of the time. He did get his lightsaber back, and it even turned into a dark lightsaber. He's trying to channel Mace Windu here. I'm there for it. I'm there for it, Sigma. That's cool. Alright, anyway. That takes care of the gateway. C rank, but that's alright. That's pretty much par for the course with this playthrough. And there is enough time for one more chip development, so what can I get? Is there anything I even want? Probably not. Squeeze Bomb will actually come in handy in the next stage for the first time in forever, but there you go. Chain combo? Maybe. I don't have enough for Life Up +2 for Axel, unfortunately. So... gotta just develop X, whatever. Make him maximum power. Zero. Maybe I'll get Saber skill. Oh no, I won't because I just used too much of my... That goes to show how much I use Zero in this game. I only really use him as bait while X recovers, so... yeah, okay, well, since that's the case, let's just get Chain Combo for X, because he's my ultimate game plan here in terms of victory, so... Oh, by the way, this record option shows you the results, the best results that you've gotten in each stage, so there you go. This is where you can see if you got 100% of all the collectibles, because you can check out each stage. It'll show you the collectibles you got, your completion percentage, your ranking, your clear time, all that other stuff. And the highest rank you can get on all of these is AAA. If you get a AAA rank, you did everything exactly how you were supposed to and didn't take any damage whatsoever. So, yeah, if you get AAA, good on you, because that's the best you can get, so... Well done. Imagine if you got to actually play as Cygnus. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool, actually. Cygnus is kind of one of those characters that has pretty much just been in the background the whole time, so it'd be cool to be able to play as him. Yeah, I would agree. Alright, Rockin' Fun, we'll see you in a minute.
I think it's Sigma.
You think it's How can you tell? This is giving me a headache. Anyway. Yes, because he turned back into his copy self before he... God damn it.
Sigma, I'm coming for you. Here we go,
All right.
hunters. Let's move out.
Suit up and roll out. I like how they put Sigma's face up on the moon there. That's a nice touch because they used all the other space down below there, obviously, for the elevator and for the gateway. And we've had our planet up top there the whole time, but now it's the moon, and Sigma's up there, so that's cool. Don't you love how he said think and that Lair asked how he knew? Did that last stage not fucking happen? I don't know. The transmission was open. They could see it wasn't Sigma. Maybe they weren't paying attention for once in their life. I don't know. Defeat Sigma, the cause of this whole situation. All I can see is that detective from L.A. Noire going press X to doubt. Anyway, X and Zero. We'll just keep our setup because the setup is great and Zero's got life up +2, so he can be the bait. Yeah, I'll just bring Aelia along again. It's fine. I guess we could have brought Layer because Zero said, hey, be my navigator, but... no. Severe interception of, signal. So it doesn't matter which navigator you bring because you get the signal blocked. So that's just great. You brought Layer, didn't you? I don't know. This is starting to hurt you on a spiritual level. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about with the jank of the translation in this one. Again, the voice actors do a really good job, all things considered, but the jank of the translation just messes with me, and I don't like it. Okay, so there's a bunch of bottomless pits here. There's a bunch of copy Reploids like the ones that we saw in some of the other stages, and there's a bunch of spikes here, because of course there is. Why wouldn't there be spikes in the final stage? And by spikes, I mean all the spikes. Just wait until we get later on in the stage when we see even more of the spikes. Oh good, I got him. Cool. Hold on. There we go. Yep, missed one. There we go. Got him.
Here I come.
Yeah, we'll let Zero hang out for this one. That's fine. Oh, there's a ride armor here. Well, I could use that to fight Sigma. Oh. I guess I couldn't use that to fight Sigma. Hi, Vile. Again. Yeah. Okay, but wait, hang on, man. You have control of the moon base. That doesn't mean that the world is going to end and there's no hope left. There's a big jump between we control the moon and the Earth is destroyed. Look at X5, which, by the way, you missed 5 whole games to get here. Look at X5 for an example of that. You say that, but you need to show me the final level in Rabi Ruby's post-game sometime. Oh boy. That'll be fun.
I'm just tired of running into you and Sigma every time I turn around.
I can understand that feeling, Zero. Because I'm a little sick of it at this point, too. So what are you going to do, not fight me? Uh-huh. I like Roger Rhodes' voice for Vile. It's really, like, on the nose for Vile, basically. Oh, he's completely... when he's in the ride armor, first of all, he has no health bar like he did in, what's it called? X1. And he's completely invulnerable until you knock him out of it, so... you basically have to knock him off of his ride armor, and then once he's off of it, you can damage him again. Eventually, he'll get back on it, but then you can just knock him off again, so... like this. He's weak to Drift Diamond, by the way, if you want to use that on him, but... I don't know, life can be a diamond for Vile without me using Drift Diamond on him. Maybe I'll use it at some point here. Hold on, I'll just get it out so I can use it. Where is it? There it is, Drift Diamond. By the way, you can charge up your Buster in this game while still having your special weapons out, which is a really nice touch and very helpful. I appreciate it. Yeah, didn't even need the Drift Diamond. Goodbye. The stage music is called Spiker Gallery. Great. I see that reference. Spiker. Oh, boy. He isn't in that or piloting. How the fuck is he invulnerable? So, I think Vile has some sort of weird, like... I don't want to say quantum entanglement connection of some kind to the ride armor, but he can basically... this model of Vile can basically ride the ride armor without controlling it. He controls it with his mind. It's so ridiculous. It just... I don't know. It just works for me because it's so ridiculous that it's just like, okay, you know what? I can't hate that. Yeah, he doesn't need the controls anymore. He just controls it with his brain. It is a thing. Like I said, it's so ridiculous, it just works for me. By the way, the multiple Sigma signatures that Aelia was getting, yeah, it's these new generation Reploids. They're all Sigma now. Oh, this is where Squeeze Bomb actually comes in handy. So, here's how you use Squeeze Bomb effectively. Well, you don't use it here, but basically, it shot erases. So, you have Sigma in front of you. He's going to shoot particle effects at you. You shoot Squeeze Bomb, and it destroys the particle effects. And then you don't have to worry about them anymore. I should have given that to Zero. But yeah, do that, and then just keep shooting while it moves ahead of you. It's not quite as strong as, like, say, Storm Tornado or something, but it's pretty damn good. All things okay, how the hell am I even supposed to do this with X? I mean, I know how to do it with Zero, but, like, how would I have gotten... I mean, I was really gambling to get up there otherwise, so... Alright, that works. Oh, yeah, Reset Sen is up in triangle up here, so... Oh, I gotta hold the button down. I forgot about that. Anyway, that's how you use that, so... Is there a life up here? It sure is. Give me that. I'll take it. I think there's spikes below me here, though, so I want to be careful, yeah. Spikes all over the place. We're not quite at spike hell yet, but we're getting there. And there's spikes down here, too, so... Oof, that was a little close. Thankfully, I still have Prickle Barrier, but I'd rather not use it yet if I can afford not to. I'll take that, even though I don't need it. Yeah, a little bit of tricky platforming here, in case that wasn't obvious before this. Now there's spikes up there. Thankfully, I didn't hit them, or hit them on my way down. I think you can double jump up there with Zero, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay. You can. It's not easy, though, and you might die in the process because you drop like a rock in this game, but anyway. Here's the part. This is the tough part right here because there's spikes literally everywhere, but there is a clear path through here, so... It's basically that, except, you know, I got spooked at the end because I thought I hit the spikes at the end of that, so... Tricky platforming here, that's for sure. A little bit of air dashing to do as well. Land on the spikes as well. Just get rid of those shots right away before they become a problem. Good. Very good. That was the whole tough part right there. That part is very difficult. I made it look a little easier than it was, unlike the puzzle boss room. Alright, let's get the Shining Ray out because Sigma's weak to Shining Ray, so... Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, so that part back there with Vile, after you beat him and you go to that section, if you're playing on hard mode, Vile does a kamikaze attack where he basically separates you and like whoever you're playing as and the backup character. So then you have to play that entire section there with only one character. And it's a little tricky, but you can make it, especially if you're using Zero because he's got double jump and air dash and all that other stuff. So it's tougher in hard mode. This hard mode isn't just they inflict more damage. There is actual... exclusive stuff to it. I'm just not good enough at the game to actually play hard mode. So, why are they turning into Sigma? What would that do for them? They seem to think that that's a sturdy body that gives them more HP, when I've been questioning this entire time why they haven't turned into Armored Armadillo, or Crescent Grizzly, or Magma Dragoon, or literally any of the other Reploids that they could have popped up for this game, but it would have been a cameo. They're turning into Sigma because it's supposed to psych you out, I guess. Anyway, we got an attack gauge, we're good to go. Of course, there's 8 steps on the way to Sigma's throne room because this is the 8th game, absolutely. Makes perfect sense to me. And there he is, the big man himself. Why does he look like Unicron?
It's good to see you again, X.
What, we're into formalities now?
Was fated, X. Our destinies come to a head right here, right now.
Well, you're right.
Time has come to usher in a new age, and you, X, are an essential part of it.
Why? Because I'm gonna kill you?
Your dedication to what you refer to as justice is what first got me thinking.
Oh no.
I realized the imperfection of this world and decided I must change it.
Sure you did.
Don't blame me for your insanity, Sigma.
It's too late, X. The gears are in motion. There's no turning back now.
He sure does look like he came out of Transformers or Gauntlet. Don't know, this is another instance of people ignoring the fucking history books, like that one guy in that FC Left in 14 who said that history was fucking pointless. No, it's taught horribly, but history is not pointless. Yeah, no, history has a very important place in our society. It's just often written by the winners, and sometimes that skews the facts a little bit, so you have to do a little bit of research for yourself.
My children were the ones, X. The new generation Reploids were the ones.
Children?
My children are responsible for the development of space, mankind's lifeline.
So you're taking credit for every new generation Reploid that was developed. That's kind of funny because Axel's a new generation Reploid and he didn't even fucking know who you were before Red started working with him.
Children? What are you talking about?
And also, they aren't specifically yours because you're just a small part of the new copy chip.
Birth to the new generation Reploids.
Yeah, so the Jacob Project Lumine is the head of the Jacob Project. It's implied that Lumine is the one that created all of the new generation Reploids. Speaking of which, where the hell is he?
Was birthed by that plan rightfully belongs to me.
Still pressing X to doubt, Sigma.
You will be destroyed along with the rest of this decayed world.
Because, again, Lumine is a new generation Reploid. I don't know how that works when he made all the other ones, but anyway. He's a new generation Reploid, so he's immune to the virus. Maybe he's a prototype like Axel. So I don't think you could have manipulated them to do that. But even without that, we're taught that things happen, but not why they happened or what the significance is of these things. I think history needs to be reworked so that we know why things happen, not just that they happened at all, yeah. That would probably work a little better. It might also skew the message that the U.S. education system wants to tell us. That's just me being not a fan of the U.S. education system, so. Alright, so he's got these things which you can dash right through with X's Hermes dash, so that's cool. Oh, okay. But yeah, like I said, he's weak to the Shining Ray, so there you go. Did I just not take damage because I dashed away from him? Man. The Hermes dash is pretty good. Uh-oh. I've been grabbed! I guess I won't heal that, that's fine. Make the boss fight a little harder, I appreciate it. Oh god. Oh, okay. I'm trying to Shining Ray him, it's not working out for me. I'm also sucking at this boss fight, but that's okay. Okay. Let me get out of here so X can heal. Ow. Oh yeah, I can't get through here with 0. Oh, I can get some damage off while I'm at it, so. Ow. X, heal a little faster, bro. Okay, that's fine. A lesson in what? Why you're not good at this anymore? I can't believe that didn't even hit him. There we go. Now, Sigma is straight out of Gauntlet here. You cannot convince me otherwise. Welcome back, Rockin' Fun. You're here just in time. I'm not the only one that questions the U.S. education system. Also, you're really liking how easy this is. Yeah, it kind of tells you that this is probably not the last stage now, isn't it?
Destroy the old world. New age.
You having a bit of a mental breakdown there, Sigma? Because that's what it sounds like. Again, now that's a death knell. Oh, this boss. This Sigma boss themer makes you sad. It's really good too, but it's such a short loop. Yeah, that's true. Really, all of the music from here on out is really good, though, so, yeah. I quite enjoy the final stage music. Oh, there's Lumine.
Lumine, are you okay?
Am I okay? Of course.
You killed Sigma, so of course I'm
Now
okay.
you've defeated Sigma.
Oh, there you are, finally.
Thanks to you, the
Something doesn't feel right here.
But Lumine, weren't you just used by Sigma?
We had no evidence of
I
that.
don't think so.
Why did we just assume that that was the case?
He merely helped my plan along.
So, yeah, no, Lumine's the bad guy.
New generation Reploids.
He's the reason why the new generation Reploids all decided to have free will, because he programmed them that way. We need to get more of an explanation from him, but we'll get that in a little bit. So, first we gotta beat him, so let's do that first. The way that Lumine works is he will channel one of the Mavericks that you've already defeated, and he'll use their special attack. So in this case, he's channeling Earthrock Trilobite, he'll use Crystal Wall, he'll use the Dark Mantis Scythe attack, he'll use a whole bunch of stuff. It's not too bad. You can also stop him from doing it by using the boss weakness, but most of the time it gives you a good opportunity to get some damage off on him, because sometimes it's hard because he just kind of flies all over the room otherwise, so. By the way, if he channels Gigavolt Manivore, definitely use Zero, because then he can just slash him and just like completely melt his HP bar. So. Oh god, that's not Gigavolt Manowar. I thought it was, but as you can see, things get a little hairy here after a while because of all the crazy shit that's going on the screen while all this is happening. So, what are you on? Oh, Gravity Antonio. Okay. Yeah, we're back to this again. Okay, hang on, Lumine. I gotta share a little airspace with you here. That's Burn Rooster. I think he's invulnerable this whole time, though, while he's on Burn Rooster, so... Should I use my life bottles? I don't think so. I think I'm gonna wait on those. In case, like, I actually need them for something after this. Because, spoiler alert, this is also not the final form. I think that's Gigavolt? No. That's Optic Sunflower, yeah. Yeah, okay. I didn't do that right. I'm being bamboozled by the... What's it called? The flame pillars on the sides that are preventing me from going anywhere, so I should get out of here with X, actually. Because we can do that and get rid of him. Good. So yeah, interesting boss fight. He combines a whole bunch of different special attacks from the other bosses, which it's pretty tricky sometimes to dodge those, especially after he channels Burn Rooster. So.
Lumine, what are you doing?
Not to say, you're living on the edge there, friend. Yeah, just a little bit, so. Yeah, P2 time. He's got the fucking Chaos Emeralds! We did assume because Sigma bad. Yeah, that's true. I even said back then, who else could it have been? Well, as it turns out, that was a trick. It was Lumine the whole time. Yeah, the P2 banger's coming up. Oh, it's good, yeah. Let's see what else we got. Watch out, he can turn into Super Lumine anytime now, yeah. Just a little bit. I'll turn the music up for part 2. I probably won't say much for it either, because it's a really good tune. Anyway, let me do that, and then we'll listen to him prattle on about what's actually going on here. There, that should be good. Again, he's immune to going Maverick X. He has the new generation copy chip. He's incapable of going Maverick. He's immune to the Sigma virus. That's how it works. The game established that rule. And now you're going to tell me that I can't kill someone who has free will?
Copy chips we knew generation Reploids possess, they were derived from data from hundreds of old model Reploids. That means
including Sigma.
Sigma was also included in the mix.
Now, does that mean that Sigma infected the rest of the data? I don't think so. I think that's up to interpretation, but...
Do you understand what
yeah.
I'm getting at here?
Copy chip? Sigma? Does that mean that I'll go nuts like he did?
I don't think so. You haven't yet, although you've been a bit of a psychopath in this game.
But prototypes like you don't have the specs to cause something like that.
Oh, okay, well that's nice. For Axel.
Sigma really crazy?
Was Sigma really crazy? You're going to ask me that? We were having such good ethical questions and discussions before this, Lumine, and now you're going to ask me, was Sigma really crazy? Yes!
He rebelled against your world, but he had his reasons.
His reasons were destruction and chaos and disorder. Those are not reasons to rebel against the world. Oh boy. Anyway. One of your favorite in the series, you love the bridge section, and oh my god, it's great, yeah. Now, Lumine is talking about his decision to wage war against the old world, because...
We possess the power to go Maverick at will.
Again, nebulous. All new generation Reploids possess free will. They can, in fact, break the laws of robotics if they decide they want to. Unlike X and Zero and all the rest of the Reploids that were born before Axel.
You
So,
think you can stand
yeah.
up to those of us who have evolved this far?
You don't fucking know what a Maverick is anymore, and you feel like you haven't known since X4. Yeah, that's pretty much correct, because it's been pretty nebulous since then.
The world is changing.
So.
Therefore, it's only
The entire thing about going Maverick starts to get muddy here, although you think that that was the point. I don't know, I'm lost in the sauce here. I would agree with that, so... Same. Well, someone's not lost in the sauce.
Don't let
Turns
him
out
get
it's
to you,
Axel.
X. He's the enemy.
Count on the psychopath to point me in the direction of the person that I'm supposed to kill anyway.
Ally. This issue isn't so black and white. Reploids, along with humanity, have irrevocably changed.
I mean, that's true. Until we kill all of the new generation ones.
has also
But still, that might leave a
You
bit
are
of a
not
problem
needed
for the
in
rest of
our
us,
new
so...
world.
Are you trying to tell me the final boss of X8 is just the final boss of Tales of Symphonia?
But we're
That's
not
just
gonna let
great.
you get
Next,
away
you're gonna
with
tell me he
this.
turns into an angel. Anyway, let's beat his ass and go home. Oh. Son of a bitch, he turns into an angel too. Alright, well, let's die and then fight this fight for real. Because I'm definitely gonna die in about 2 seconds, because I have like no HP left and I don't want to use my life bottles yet. No, stop right now, you criminal scum. Oh boy. Keep your hyper attack, by the way. You'll need it for the end of the fight, so. Oh, okay. I think you can just double jump over most of that, so. Almost didn't double jump over all of that, though. Oh, this is different. I guess I could use X to go through it, but yeah, anyway. Can I damage him while this is all happening? Oh, okay. Whoa. Oh, okay, there's more than one. I forgot that they come back. That's just great. But we will probably... I might even die later on in this fight because, well, you don't need the double attack to finish him off, but I want to finish him off with the double attack, so... Well... I like just dodging in that part. It's a little easier, if I'm honest. I also like how he just keeps appearing on the right side of the screen. It's like, okay, well... But yeah, a lot of his patterns have to do with these yellow energy things, so I hope you remember where you were standing in order to dodge them, because they, otherwise they might cause a bit of a problem for you.
Farewell.
What do you mean, farewell? Oh. That's what you mean by farewell. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, we can dodge right through those with X's invincible dash, thankfully, so that's nice. Doing pretty good here with X, though, so far, and I'm about to die right now because of this, but... Yeah. Oh, spare energy activated. Nice. Well, now I have to beat him, don't I? Because spare energy activated. I don't think it's going to happen, though, with this going on. I think after a certain point, though, he becomes invincible. With this, so... Because once you get him to 25%, he, basically... He has to do his final attack. He has a desperation attack, too. And of course it's called... Yeah, because why wouldn't it be? No, this is literally out of fucking Rabby Ribby. Help me! I blame you for this, Maria. You created this. The way this part works is you blow up his barrier and then you shoot the shit out of him. And that's about it. I'm not sure if I'm gonna finish this like this. I think... Do you see the screen closing in on us there, by the way? It closes in because the further it gets, the... basically, after a while, he'll destroy you. After, I think, 3 cycles, he'll destroy you. But, well... I beat him, so I didn't need the life bottles after all, as it turns out.
You may have defeated me, but it's too late to stop what's already begun.
Well, you're right about that.
I'll take on plenty more like you if that's what it takes.
No, that's what he's saying, Axel. As it turns out, in his final moments, Lumine became cognizant of the fact that the series was over. He even says this line.
You'll find out soon enough.
Oh, I don't think the developers knew at this point, though, but they have no idea how poignant that was. Oh, you'll find out soon enough. It's too late to stop this. Well, you're right. I hate that you're right, but you're right. So. Blame you for this, Murray. You created this. This is your doing. Axel, why are you so bloodthirsty? They just made him a psychopath in this game. And again, I think his voice actor does a good job because he sounds like the kind of cocky teenage punk that he should, but the lines don't do him any justice, that's for sure. Well, that takes care of Safer Lumine, Seraph Lumine. Sephiroth's was probably supposed to be Seraph anyway, so... Alright, everybody ready? Should we do a triple attack and blast his ass into smither? Axel, where are you going? Axel, you have a gun. You can just blow him up with the gun, Axel. You don't need to get closer. Axel, seriously? Okay. This could have been avoided. Blast his ass, X! Thank you. Come on now, Axel, seriously? What were you trying to do? We should probably take him back to Hunter Base. He looks pretty fucked up.
X.
Yeah, poor Ceres, indeed. Oh, good, the, what's it called? The block transmission's going through now.
But he's fine. We're headed back now.
It's kind of funny because the final boss gave me less trouble than that stupid puzzle room in Primrose.
That's how Lumine described it. He said this was evolution. If he's right, then what are we doing?
I'm glad it only took you the entire game to figure that out, X, that maybe what we're doing might not have been correct. Maybe no one was right here. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure, if we go back to X1, Dr. Light originally programmed you to have free will.
I bet you've been
Why you've never used it is a question for later. Well, yeah, that's the idea.
just becoming.
I think this ending changes depending on who dealt the final blow, by the way, so... Yeah, but he didn't just turn into Sigma, did he? He was his own thing by the end of that.
Anyway, X.
Remember when you were cocky as a teenager, but not really? You genuinely had no self-confidence. You wouldn't be cocky if you wanted to. I think I only got cocky as a teenager when I finally figured out how to be sarcastic to people. And that took a long time, so...
But against our own destiny as well.
And eventually our destiny is to end up dead and buried, except for you, Zero. You get to live like 100 years from now. Lucky guy. It does indeed. That's good. I'm glad I remembered that right. Yoko Taro strikes again. All anyone needs to commit evil is to think that they're right in what they're doing. And that's the game, everybody, because that's basically the gist of the free will in this game. If you think that what you're doing is correct, then you might be evil. Anyway, so... X8 is... It's... Okay, so here's my thing with X8. I'm very back and forth with it. Yeah, I really... Like, the voice acting is one of the things that I'm forth with, because the voice acting, like I said, I'm pretty sure was done by the Ocean Entertainment Group. And if you watched 1990s English anime, you know who the Ocean Entertainment Group is, and you know what a good job they've done in the past. They have a huge track record of great stuff that they've done. No surprise that it would come through so well here. I mean, hell, the voice of Domon fucking Cash voices X in this game. Come on, how can you get better than that? I'm like 99% confident Ocean dubbed this one, and they dubbed Maverick Hunter X as well. That's definitely in Maverick Hunter X's credits. This one, I think, is also dubbed by Ocean. It might come up in the credits here, too, but I forget. I haven't watched the credits in a little bit. But yeah, that's why the voice acting's so good, because it's dubbed by Ocean, so I think. But yeah, I'm back and forth about X8. I think that in the gameplay department, it's a significant step forward from X7. It actually requires you to think in a lot of cases, and it challenges you with the stages. Some of those stages are genuinely difficult, especially at the beginning of the game when you don't have any power-ups. Some of the stages are genuinely pretty difficult to get through, and will definitely force you to really think about what you're doing and where you're going with the platforming. And you have to think on the fly because of the way that gravity works in this one. The characters aren't as floaty as they usually are, so it takes a little bit of getting used to. But once you get used to it and you get into the flow state with the game, once you're used to the physics and the gameplay loop, it's not too bad. I think it's pretty good. Some places can get a little bit on the bullshit side, but overall, I think it's a good challenge, and it's far more challenging than X7 ever did. So I appreciate that a lot, because X7 was basically brain dead in terms of gameplay. The visuals, I think, have aged quite well for this game. Not necessarily as well as some other games, but by comparison to the poor cell shading that X7 had, I think the visuals in this one have aged quite well, considering it's an 18-year-old game. It still looks pretty good, all things considered. The music is really solid, too, a definite step up from X7. X7 had a few standout tracks, but a lot of X8 soundtrack is really good. And what they do with music in order to make things interesting in stages, like changing it up with the Cyclops ride armor and Booster Forest, that sort of stuff, it's all pretty good. There it is, right there, produced in association with the Ocean Group Canada. There it is, it was dubbed by Ocean. But yeah, there's a lot of good, I think, in X8, and I think it's a significant step forward for the series in gameplay department. But there are some things about it that I just can't get over, like the translation being so rough. Despite the good job that the voice actors do, the translation is a little rough. There are some changes to controls that I mean, with Axel, it takes a lot of getting used to with him, because he had significant control changes with his hover and with his dodge roll. There's just a few things about X8 that I'm always kind of like, okay, this is okay, but, and I just go back to it, I go back and forth with it. So, I think that X8 is a solid game. I think it's all right. There's enough in it where it balances for me between the stuff that I enjoy and the stuff that I don't. Do I think it's a lot better than X7? Yes. Do I think that it's the best in the series? Probably not. When news of Luminae's going Maverick reached the ears of those in power, it was decided that all new generation Reploids with copy abilities still in production would be cancelled. However, with the development of space in full swing, the demand for these advanced new generation Reploids had not dwindled. So they're going to keep going with this whole, they could turn into Mavericks, quote-unquote, at any time. Years later, production and copy chips once again resumed, despite the advice of those who had studied their history. And I'm sure that went over perfectly well in the ZX series, because I'm pretty sure that's what that's setting up, is the ZX series. But humans and robots living together in harmony and equality. That was my ultimate wish, Dr. Thomas Light. We sure fucked that up now, didn't we? Oh, boy. Yeah, there's certain things about X8 that I just can't, like, I don't really think that the collectibles and the economy system in the game is okay for the consumables, but it's kind of forgettable for the power-ups, and it makes a lot of the power-ups you find in the stages feel not as good as they were in previous games, because you got them in previous games and you just had them. Here you have to get them, and you have to buy them then, too, so it's kind of like, eh. We've talked about the translation to no end. There are some stages, I think, that have a little bit of... I like the gimmicks of a lot of the stages, but 2 Ride Chaser stages for me is too many. I think there should be like 1 Ride Chaser stage, and those ones don't exactly have good gimmicks. Dynasty in particular, I do not like Dynasty. It's definitely not a very well-designed stage, I don't think. The rest of them I think are pretty decent. I think Avalanche Yetis is a little tough too, but it's mostly trial and error. You get it after a little while, but yeah, I don't know. I like the gimmicks in the rest of the stages, but yeah. Oh, side note, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl have Wonder Trade now, from what you've heard. It's hilarious that people are already promoting themselves with nicknamed Pokemon. Oh my god. I didn't know it didn't have Wonder Trade to begin with. I don't think I've ever done Wonder Trade, honestly. Yeah, Ride Chaser stages are infamous, especially because of Squid Adler, ready, die, basically, so like Rock and Fun put it before. Murray definitely had a point about the difficulty of the game being quite brutal when you go through it the first time. It is pretty difficult the first time you go through it. Eventually you get used to it and then you know what to expect later, but yeah. For you, at least, the way this game is designed makes it so that when you figure out the game, it stays fresh and entertaining to you. Some games like X4, when you learn them, it started getting tame or boring. I can agree with that, actually. I can agree with that notion, because I figured out the stage order that I wanted in this game, but it was still difficult in a way, and it was still entertaining when I finally got all juiced up with X. It was like, okay, I still have to think and play properly, for the most part, in order to actually get through this, until like way later in the game when I had like Life Up +2 a whole bunch and all that stuff. Then I didn't have to think as hard. I mean, I beat Luminae at like half my HP, so yeah. But yeah, overall, I think it's all right. A lot of the item collection really doesn't do it for me. I think it's asking me to start the game over. But yeah, you can do New Game Plus if you want to buy a whole bunch of stuff, but excuse me. I'm not really big on it. The other thing that you can get, by the way, for doing New Game Plus is that you unlock the ability to play as Aelia, Pallet, and Lair. They take on the abilities of the regular hunters, so Aelia gets X's abilities, Lair gets Zero's abilities, and Pallet gets Axel's abilities. Although they can't use like the armor parts and stuff, so like Aelia can't use the Dr. Light capsules or open them, as far as I'm aware. So, but they cost like 40,000 medals a piece or something ridiculous like that to buy, so I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of the idea, so. Squid's the one from 5, right? Yeah, fuck him. Yeah, that stage, not a lot of people like that one. But yeah, that's going to do it for Mega Man X8, the Stream Edition. It's alright. I think it's a significant step forward for the series, but really the most aggravating thing about it for me is the fact that it does that significant step forward and it asks good questions that you should be asking at this point in the series, and then there's no X9 to answer those questions. And I know that wasn't necessarily the fault of the developers at the time. They probably figured, oh yeah, we'll have an X9, we'll answer all these questions, but then there just isn't one. So, yeah, I don't know. It just feels pointless to ask those questions when you're never going to answer them, you know? Yeah, and that's the problem, is that it's a significant step forward for the series, but the step forward is off a cliff, because then the series plummets to its death. So, maybe that's part of what's making it all right for me, is the fact that this is the end of the series here. It leaves questions unanswered. I mean, hell, I think, like I said, the ending changes there if you, depending on who deals the final blow. And I think in Axel's ending, it implies that Lumine's stupid tentacle hentai attack that he did infected Axel with the Sigma virus or some shit, I think. But we didn't get that one, so don't even worry about it. It's not important. Just listen to what X said about it. Well, what if he's right? Then what are we doing? That's the important part. You just described a lot of Capcom's abandoned series. Yeah, I know. I think that's why I'm always so up and down with Capcom, because when they make good games, they really know how to make good games, but there's like a gap of time in between that a lot of the time, so. But yeah, that's it. That's all for my coverage of the Mega Man X series. It was a long time coming, but we finally finished it up, and now the next time we plug in a Legacy Collection from the Mega Man series, it will be the Zero and ZX Legacy Collection, and we'll play those games too, but I don't know, that might be a little bit of a ways off yet. I've got quite a few projects lined up in the future. I know I've been saying that for a while because of the GameCube projects, but now that I'm going to dip my toes into stream suggestions after this too, I got a lot of projects up ahead. So maybe I'll play the Zero games before I play them for the stream. I think Marie mentioned before that I probably should because they're pretty tough, but yeah, I don't know. I'll figure it out eventually and we'll go from there. But that's all for Mega Man X8 the Stream Edition. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been pretty good. I think it was pretty good. It's just too bad it's the last one. So thank you for watching, everybody. I appreciate you coming out to Twitch and YouTube to check out the stream. I will try to have fun with the Zero games. Like I said, I haven't finished the first one, but I've played some of the first one. And that's it. So it'll be mostly blind when we play it. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed X8 and the rest of the X series. We'll be back on Thursday for a new playthrough where it's all Greek to me. But until then, or wherever I see you around the internet next, I hope everybody will take care and have a good one. The Greek part is your hint. I hope it's enough of a hint. If you've seen the stream suggestions list, you probably know what it is, but yeah, anyway. I'm out of here. Goodbye.